But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
So you said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1,
self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. And we'd like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Wednesday night, and that means it's show night. We're back to talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. You know what they are? Aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the 24-hour news cycle, propaganda, the government, academia, and how all of that ties together to create this twisted reality we live in. And in some places in the world, it's still illegal to talk about these things. But right now, and right here, in this moment that we have together tonight, this is still legal. Nobody's going to kick in the door and drag us out of here from the microphone just yet. But the world is a-changin'. If you've been paying attention, the world is a-changin'. As a matter of fact, we did a show last night where we were talking about aliens. Actually, before we do that, let's say hi to Ash. Sorry about that. I usually go right into the monologue here, but we got our good buddy Ash on tonight. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well. Can you guys hear me down there on planet Earth?
Test 1, 2. Say it again. Say it again, Sam.
Testing. Hello. Can you guys hear me down there on planet Earth?
Loud and clear, good buddy. Loud and
Coming
clear.
in from Mars. From Mars.
From Mars.
How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Everyone's doing good?
Feeling good. Looking good. You know how it is. How are you tonight?
Hey, man. I'm just hoping 2021 ain't a sequel. You know what I mean? To 2020. And I think a lot of stuff's going to happen in 2021 based on all this information. So it's just, we live in exciting times. Exciting times.
Exciting times. What a time to be alive. So with that said, we'll get into the rest of this in just a sec. But let me explain. So this show is about all those things I described when we started. I'm Mike. This is Ash. We're kicking it. We're going to be talking about aliens tonight, again, in some capacity. So hang tight for that. But this show's live, did I mention? We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. We are broadcasting live on the Fringe FM. And there's, like I said, it's still legal for now. It's still okay. They're not going to be able to drag us kicking and screaming out of here. But we have an open phone line for you. Several, actually. If you want to be part of the show, really easy. You just dial this phone number, 702-957-1037. One more time, that's 702-957-1037. You could also join the Discord and be on the show that way. We have a little bit of talk back over there, so it's a technical issue still trying to work through here, but it does work, and we have proof of that last night and even earlier today. So one more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Troubled Minds is the official website, and you can find the phone number there and the Discord. And we're also reading chat. So that's part of streaming and doing this and talking about these things is we love to include you. That's the entire purpose of this show, as it's always been, doing it live to include you, because we're just us. We know some things. We can research some things. We can look at this and do that. But we learn so much more when you guys participate to the conversation as part of this. So if you want to be part of it, troubledminds.org, and phone number and the Discord link is there. And again, if you want to be part of the other chat, like I said, we're reading all the chats, is you go to fringe.fm/chat, and you get an invite to their Discord as well. You can have so it's not two different programs, it's the same program, it's just two different chat rooms within the same program. So there you go. I think that sums it all up. All right, now anything to kick into that there, Ash, before I just talk us off a cliff here? Make me help.
No, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. And the mainstream media and all that, they like to talk about this, that, and the trial or whatever, what's going on. I don't even care anymore. I don't think anyone cares anymore. So, we're here to talk about what you guys want to talk about, what people want to talk about. That's aliens. That's like what's going on in the world, right? Like the actual stuff that's actually happening. So hopefully we can peel that veil back a little bit, and we can take a glance together, right? And let's try and figure out what's going on.
Absolutely. Okay, so tonight what we have on deck is there's a thing called the Pais effect from a Dr. Salvatore Pais and his UFO patents with the Navy. So hang tight. That's what we're going to get to. Let me digress here for just a sec. So we did a show last night. If many of you were listening, I appreciate that. Now, the show last night was in regard to crash landings, okay? Alien crash landings, UFO crash landings. And it ended up turning into a larger conversation about an individual that got a FOIA request back that said that the Navy had admitted all these things. The U.S. government had admitted all these things. And it didn't really turn out to be the case, okay? But anyway, that was the entire scope of the conversation. It was alien UFO crashes, and it was parts, like arts parts and the rest of that. If you're into it, it's up on YouTube. There's archives everywhere. You can go check it out. But the reason I bring it up is because right after the show last night, I was doing the things I normally do on YouTube and, tagging this and keyword that and some thumbnails and, like all the busy work that goes on behind the scenes. And that conversation yesterday got fact-checked for a particular movement that I didn't even mention one time. And I'm going to call that movement, so we don't get, again, fact-checked again today, but I'm going to call that movement R-Anon. You follow what I'm saying? They fact-checked that conversation yesterday on YouTube, trying to say that I was talking about that particular political movement. And not one single time did I even bring it up. Not even coyly like I just did now. Not even once. And they fact-checked me. Right? What's going on here? What is this? Like, this is the world we live in. This is the algorithmic control that they're doing. And they're going to use this to silence people. Because, look, I've called myself a conspiracy theorist. I've said that on this show many, many times. Heck, I have a news show called Conspiracy News with Michael Strange, all right? To me, it's not a negative term, right? It means you want to think outside the box, outside of the political spectrums, all right? But when you don't even do that and don't even bring it up, and they're fact-checking you and trying to put you into a box with these political movements that you have nothing to do with, and not only that, if you go back into my history, years now, coming up on 3 years, I rarely talked about that political movement. And in many cases, it was to criticize it. And so now, instead, what's happening? They're going to fact check me because I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? And this is the world we live in, right? They removed it since. I sent out a nasty tweet to YouTube and tried to get some big Twitter accounts to retweet it to get some traction. But YouTube actually removed it. But I don't know if you caught that drama last night, Ash, but that's what happened, man. We were talking about UFOs, and they fact-checked it against that Aranon movement. And so I'm on a list somehow, right, some way, or something. I don't know. I don't know. I just can't believe that actually taking the conversation as it happened in real time and then actually extrapolating that I said anything about that Aranon movement was real, because it's not. It's fabricated. It was a mistake, and rightfully so. They took it down. But come on, is this the world we live in now? You there? Test 1 2. That's all right. All right.
No, I'm here. Sorry, not familiar with the mute button on Skype.
Me neither.
I thought it was unmuted.
Me neither. Okay. All right. You're good.
Yeah, that's it's not what's true, what you said. It's just who controls the narrative now, right? And that's the thing. It's like, who controls the narrative? The social media platforms. Alex Jones was the first test domino, and he was right. He said, they're coming after me first. I'm just like the trial run, because no one's going to fight for me, and they're just going to take me out. I mean, they when they disabled him, they disabled all his accounts on all platforms, permanently suspended him. Then they removed his merchant transaction services. It was like a trial run to see if they can just remove someone from the internet completely, and it was pretty successful. And so now with the election being over and all this stuff going on, you're seeing this kind of like this reaction, this visceral reaction to the Capitol storming, or what do you say? And they're trying to kind of like throw as much stuff into that bucket as possible, because it just seems as soon they're going to just remove that from the internet. And I mean, they already have. They've already, like, if you try to search that material, you can't find anything anymore. You can only find like whatever they want you to know about it. And I've looked into that stuff before, and it's like what they say is not exactly what I read, right? Those are two different realities. Whether you support that stuff or not, I don't really care. It's just that they're being disingenuous. But it doesn't matter anymore, because if you can't find the source, if you can't find the source material, then all you have to take is whatever they say, the narrative. And so, the bar is going to keep moving, and eventually they're going to get us too. Because we could leak information. Like, let's say the coronavirus, right? We were talking about that before anyone else. We could have, maybe they wanted a certain narrative to come out, and people like us would bust that narrative up and soften it so it wouldn't work, right? So, maybe this is like an initiative to start getting rid of people like us, and that has to make you wonder why. What's coming? What's coming that they have to start really ramping this rhetoric up and start removing people from the internet? Or is this just like an ongoing device that's just been useful, and that's what they're doing now? So it's kind of scary. It's like a Orwellian on crack. It's like, if you don't see it and you don't think about it, then you don't know it, and then that's it. There's no conversation. So
welcome to 1984, right? Welcome to 1984. Yeah, awful. We got a phone call. Let's go straight to this phone call, and then we'll keep on trucking here. All right, let's do it. You're on Trouble Minds with Mike.
People from the internet.
What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Device. It's just been useful. That's what they're doing now. So.
And if you could, like, can you turn your radio off or down?
On crack. It's like.
Test 1 2.
What if you don't see it,
all right.
You don't think about it.
All right. You're not hearing me.
You don't know it.
All right. So So okay. So I don't know what's going on there. Call back, and you got to turn your radio down because we can't have that talk back because clearly you don't even hear me talking to you. So that phone call, if you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037. Sorry to hang up on you, but we're hearing the radio back on a delay, so not going to work. If you want to be part of the show, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link and just turn down your radio when you call, and so we don't get that talk back. But okay. All right, so I just wanted to point that out. We were targeted by the algorithms last night, and I'm not sure if my tweet got any traction or somebody saw it at YouTube and they removed it, or if maybe it was an actual correction. I don't know. But it definitely gets you thinking about exactly like you said, Ash. Where are we going? And this is a tool that's clearly been used. Like you said, Alex Jones was the beta test for this, for the censorship. And nuts. It's nuts. The world we live in is just getting more and more strange. All right, this phone call is back. Let's take this, and let's keep on moving here. Let's do it. All right, you're on Trouble Minds with Mike and Ash. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Patrick. I'm from Canada.
Patrick, what's happening, my man? What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, man, I just wanted to talk to you about Project Bluebeam and the Vatican.
Okay, shoot. What's on your mind?
Did you see the Vatican nativity scene that went up this year for Christmas?
I didn't actually. I'd love to hear about it though. Nope. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay, so it's crazy. If you just Google it, if you look at the nativity figures, you'll see how the three wise men, Joseph, baby Jesus, Mary, all these religious figures in Christianity are wearing spacesuits. And it's very weird. But basically, I think that the Vatican is going to be complicit in the alien deception that's going to be ramped up here in 2021 and on. So I just want everybody to be aware. Just look for news coming from the Vatican with aliens.
Yeah, they've actually talked about that in the past couple years. Even like they've come out and said that the alien presence doesn't conflict with God as the overall maker, like that sort of thing. They've come out and actually talked about this in recent years. So maybe you're onto something. I don't know. So I didn't see this nativity scene, but they're wearing spacesuits. You say so? This is a nod to Project Bluebeam in the future.
I believe so, yeah. I see the hierarchy of the church trying to fundamentally change religion, the nature of religion, and I really see a push to delegitimize the established religions of our societies to make way for a one-world global religion that's going to kind of be the... to go in hand with the one world global government. I really feel for true believers of conventional religions.
Yeah, I agree. It's there's definitely been a war on religion, and it's obvious what's happening, and so not only that, it's basically a crackdown on speech by trying to say that you can't believe what you want to believe, right? It's an encroachment of the thought police. And actually, an encroachment on belief. And that could be belief in yourself. That could be belief in a lot of things. But you're right. It's under attack. Hey, man, we got to keep moving. I appreciate the call. Final thought while we got you on the phone?
No, hey, man, I follow you on YouTube, and you guys do great work, and keep it up, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the call, my man. Have a great night, okay?
You too. Thanks.
Thank you. There you go. Patrick from Canada. Easy as that. Like, if you want to be part of the show, you dial the phone number. We'll put you on the show, 702-957-1037. What did you think about that, Ash? I'm pretty sure you heard them all, right? If you're there, that's
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. We're still wrestling. We implemented new technology just before we started here, so we're all fumbling with the buttons. So don't mind us.
Yeah.
Right, so go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'm like, am I muted or am I not? Like,
You're back. You're back.
I'm over here being quiet as possible either way. I'm just like scared of you guys hearing me slurping drinks down and smacking my lips and stuff. No, but honestly, we all get that sense that there's something going on. They are all the elites when they go out in the woods and they like get naked and they bang each other or whatever they do at these like weird meetings, and they burn stuff, and they're all like kind of communicating and sharing information that we don't have access to. And they have plans, right? They have plans. And coronavirus has exposed those plans because they would push hard on some of them and then pull back, right? So like within like 2 months of lockdowns, they were like, we need a new world order. And it's like, whoa, people are like, whoa, what the heck? And they're like, oh, never mind. I was just kidding. What we need is a great reset. That's what we need, you know? It's just really clear that there's like a culture up at the top, and by the top I mean it's transcendent. It's like Alex Jones speaks about the globalists. It's true. It's like these people think they're better than a nation. That stuff doesn't matter, and think that there's just kind of a right way to do things or the right way to move forward. And then they've been building their team for a long time within our government, other governments across the world, the WHO, whatever, you know, like you don't know how deep this group goes, or it's maybe not even a shadowy group. It's just like literally like they go to conventions and then they kind of just come to a consensus. That's their culture, right? So the Vatican has made signs that they're kind of on board with the alien narrative, and they've been kind of red pilling their people. And then the Vatican's got like weird satanic artwork, and then you guys know what they've been caught for in the past, you know, like there's all those jokes, right? Like that's of what the Catholic priests and the choir boy, and I don't want to talk about that stuff, but it's just like we all kind of get that feeling like they're planning shit. They know stuff, that there's things going on, and we're kind of not privy to it. And I would suspect that based on some of the things I've seen, like the Podesta emails, remember those, Mike?
Yeah,
that
sure
maybe they're in cahoots with like literally aliens or extra-dimensional beings, and they're getting guidance from them, and they're trying to implement those plans. I mean, that just makes a lot of sense if you plug it into everything that you're seeing. And I will say, and I'm wrapping it up, is that the UN and all these people have plans, and like 2030 is like a target year. So for a lot of their plans, they're new. Some may call it New World Order. I whatever you want to say, but I mean, just look at the changes that we've had in just the last year. There's literally, Mike, you can't say that thing. And even if you don't say that thing, they're like associating keywords you said, and they're labeling your videos. So like, look at how much has just changed in a year, just a year. And things are so different. You can't, I'm like literally scared to say things.
Yeah. It just shouldn't be that way. Like, is this the United States of America? Is this what freedom of speech actually means? I hope not. I hope not. This is where we're headed, right? This is awful. This is we'll keep an eye on this clearly, and we'll keep reporting on this and talking about these things, because it does. You're right. The world has changed an unbelievable amount in the past year, and it does kind of stick with that verbiage, right? The Great Reset, right? The new normal. Right? Is it one mask or is it three masks? Right? Like, what the heck is really going on? It's impossible to say, because guess what? They keep changing their damn minds. And here we are stuck in the middle of it. Hey, we got a phone call on deck. We're going to have to take a quick commercial there. So it's Juan Carlos from California, old friend of the show. Hey, Juan Carlos, I know you're listening to me. No cursing on the radio. Hang tight 5 minutes and we'll get you back, and we'll get you on. You do one F-bomb, cutting you off. Got it? Got it. I know Juan Carlos. He's a good friend of the show. Been around a long time, and he is liberal with his language, if you catch my meaning. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back in just a moment. You're listening to Troubled Minds. I'm Michael Strange, and this is Ash the Reptilian from Mars. 702-957-1037. One more time, 702-957-1037. If you want to be part of the show tonight, we're going to get to advanced propulsion technology. That's right after the break. Hang tight. We will be right back. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. We're going to be talking about advanced propulsion technology, some of these bizarre patents that happen with the U.S. Navy. Do you want to be part of the conversation? 702-957-1037. One more time, that's 702-957-1037. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. You can find the Discord link there and the phone number. Come say hi. Come say hi. Welcome back, Ash. You there, buddy?
I'm here. I'm just chilling.
All right, chilling. Cool. We're going to take this phone call as we kill this. Yeah, sweet music. Let's do this. As I teased, Juan Carlos from California, you're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, guys? Mike, Ash, how you guys been? I've been pretty good. Life's good. I've been actually focused on a couple other things going on in my life, but I don't know. I thought about calling in a couple times that I heard you guys, especially you guys were talking about crypto and everything that's going on in this financial system. And I wanted to call, but I was always with my girl or just listening in, and I wanted to be prepared, actually, to, give you all the facts. But, I mean, I'll just tell you how it is. You could, Google it. The internet's open. You could check this shit out. I'm not lying.
Hey, you did it. Hey.
I didn't want to change the stuff.
Language.
Oh, my bad.
Language. Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
All right. Go ahead.
So the thing is that, well, speaking of technology, what I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to say hi first. Do you guys have anything to say?
No, we're good.
Before I rant,
we can't do a long rant here, so we got it's radio time now, so we got to keep it short. So, if you want call back in the third hour, I'll give you as long as you want. Okay, but we got commercials and like a time frame to kind of tell a coherent story. So, give us your first thought, and then we'll move on after that.
Oh, okay. All right. So first, real quick, I wanted to talk about cryptocurrency, the financial system, everything that's going down. I mean, it's already been over 30% of the dollar has been printed out, within the last 12 months or so. I mean, everything has a reaction, and what else? What are they looking for? Problem, solution, problem, reaction, solution. And I've been actually very invested in cryptocurrency, and especially, I'm not sure if you guys are too familiar, but there's this coin called Ripple XRP. And basically, this is like the new thing that's the next industrial revolution. And I wanted to tell you guys that because I know there's a lot of people that are positive, good-hearted people that, deserve a blessing. And I look at it, I'm very invested in this within the last, half a year. I've been into this, and just within this last year, all the development, all the rules, the regulations, like that, things that are coming into this new financial system are big, and if people don't capitalize on them yet, they're going to miss out. And
gotcha.
I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about.
That's okay. If you're going to be listening, like I said, call back in the third hour. I'll let you go as long as you want. Can you do me a favor and share some of that information on the Discord so folks have links to what you're talking about?
Okay. Let me actually log in because I lost my phone and then I haven't even downloaded the Discord. But let me hop back on and I'll put some information out there for you guys.
Okay. Please, if you got time, call back in the third hour. I'll let you go as long as you need to. Okay.
The third hour, that's what right now.
Yeah, so that's going to be after 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock.
After 9. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll help me out. I'll write a couple things down, and just so just let you guys know. And if you guys have any questions, just message Mike on his screen and just let me know.
Okay, I appreciate it, my man. I'll talk to you in a little bit. This is Juan Carlos from California, guys. Thanks for calling back. I appreciate it, my man. Have a good night. Talk to you in a minute.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
There you go. Simple as that. You guys want to be part of the show? 702-957-1037. Let's get going with this this alien stuff. Now, this is from unknowncountry.com. I'm going to just read this to get us started on what this is. Now, this is the strange case of Dr. Salvatore Pais and the Navy's UFO patents. Going to read just a little bit of this, and then I'll get you in here, Ash, and we'll talk about this. In 2019, a series of strange patents were filed by the United States Navy describing UFO-like technology and concepts. When unveiled by the War Zone, that's a fantastic website. I'll link some of this stuff so you guys can follow along. When unveiled by the War Zone, they spurred a series of articles chronicling the publication's attempts at uncovering what was behind these provocative filings. After obtaining reports on government-funded experiments conducted by the physicist responsible for creating the patents, the Navy officially admitted to the existence of a program aimed at producing high-intensity electromagnetic fields for power generation and advanced propulsion, and the corresponding failure of the project to prove the concepts being tested. The patents were filed by the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division. And if you like acronyms, that would be the NAWCAD. And I'm going to add WTF. Why has everything got to be such a huge acronym? And it continues. And described UFO-like technologies with provocative concepts. These patents bore titles like high-frequency gravitational wave generator and also craft using an inertial mass reduction device. In addition, they described designs for a room temperature superconductor and an electromagnetic force field generator designed to deflect asteroids. All right, so that's what we're talking about tonight, guys. We're gonna get there and continue to explore this. I got some clips from some smart people talking about these things. But I know you brought this to my attention, Ash, and said, "Hey, look, this is back in the news. Let's talk about this." So, your initial thoughts on this as we continue rolling here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll kind of get into this mystery, right? Like, what's going on here? Does this mean anything? You know, on a slider from BS to holy moly, you know, we're going to Mars.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we'll kind of try and dial it in. We probably won't get the exact number, but we'll get like a 3-4 point range. It's pretty good. We'll explore this mystery, but it just seems part of a greater narrative, right? We have that countdown that's going on, 180 days till stuff comes out. You got the previous UFO videos that came out. It just seems like, you know, we mentioned this before. We'll see. We'll see what's next, you know. And this is progress, right? This is the next thing. It's like, now I have some opinions on that. We can get into that later. I have some opinions on this, him, the patents. But, you know, they're just my opinions. I don't know. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're just looking on the internet like you guys. We've just probably been looking more than the average person. That's all. But still, you know, we want to hear from you, hear what you guys think. What do you think? And as this train's rolling, you know, into the station here, like, what do you guys think? Do you think this is it? Do you think we're finally on the gravy train? Do you think maybe all this stuff's related, right? Like all the alien stuff, all the New World Order, the COVID-19, the lockdowns, like the R Balan, is all this stuff like, you know, is this all kind of like, are we just heading towards something, or is it just kind of like, is it just chaos? Like, I, you know, personally, I could guess, but I don't really know. So again, call in. We like to hear what you guys think.
There you go, 702-957-1037, troubledminds.org. You can find the phone number there. Just call the number. We'll put you on the show. The only thing is just a heads up, give you a couple minutes on the phone, so just keep it brief, and I appreciate that a lot. All right, let's play. There's a couple clips here where we got this. There's this thing called the Pais effect, all right? And this individual is known as Dr. Salvatore Pais, P-A-I-S. And he's got these Navy UFO patents. And this actually hit the news like a year ago. But for some reason, it's back in the news again, as usual, right? So we have this article by Forbes. I'm going to drop this in the chat, and you guys can check this out. And this is why it's back in the news, right? It's because of this particular article that's kind of recircled talking about the UFO fusion energy patent. Okay, dropping this in the chat as I play this. This is from Timcast. They were talking about this recently with what's his name? The alien scientist, right? And his name is, what is his name? His name is, I got it right here. His name is oh boy,
that guy on
Jeremy
the thing.
Jeremy Rise, RYS, Jeremy Rise. So he was on Timcast recently, and they were talking about this exact thing. So let's play a couple clips there. So we'll have Tim explain what this Pais effect is and what some of this technology is, and that's what we're doing tonight. So here we go, part 1, action. I'll drop the links in the chat. You guys can check it out.
So we have this update from Forbes. What is behind the U.S. Navy's UFO fusion energy patent? Now, I think when they say UFO and they show pictures, they're just marketing it. It's brand marketing. And like, we used a very similar photo because it's the only way to basically say like, hey, here's this technology. It's most reminiscent of UFOs. But you got to understand, a lot of this talk about UFOs is old talk. So what's this new tech? Forbes writes, when Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais, an aerospace engineer at the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division, filed a patent for a plasma compression fusion device in 2019, it was either a giant breakthrough or mad science. According to the patent application, the miniature device could contain and sustain fusion reactions capable of generating power in the gigawatt, 1 billion watts, or 2 terawatt, 1 trillion watts range or more. A large coal plant or mid-sized nuclear power reactor, by comparison, produces energy in the 1 to 2 gigawatt range. The revolutionary invention by Dr. Pais, if real, would produce near unlimited clean energy from something no larger than a sports utility vehicle. Dr. Pais's fusion device is among a handful of outlandish technologies dubbed the UFO patents that have in some shape or form been pursued by the U.S. Navy. They go on to mention that this guy says he's written before with some skepticism over Dr. Pais's purported compact fusion reactor. The physicist appears to have bona fide credentials, including a PhD from Carnegie Mellon, and published some of his work, while much is presumably classified. He's been employed by the Pentagon for decades, and this isn't the first patent filed in his name, and all of them appear centered around what he calls the Pais effect. Dr. Pais posits that by controlling the accelerated spin or vibration of electrically charged matter, high-energy electromagnetic fields can be produced.
Okay, did you hear all that? I'm linking these actual patents in the chat if you guys, for the folks that are following the chat here. But just like Tim said there, I'm going to read just a couple of these. All right, and some of these patents that have supposedly been rolled through here. So we've got a craft using an inertial mass reduction device. All right, and that's right here. I'm going to link that, and you guys can check it out. And there's more. There's a plasma compression fusion device, and if you click on his name, Salvatore Pais, I say it Pais Pais. That's what it sounds like to me. If you click on his name, there is a list of all kinds of things that he's supposedly had patents in recently in the last year. The craft using the inertial mass reduction device, the piezoelectricity induced high temperature superconductor, the high frequency gravitational wave generator. I mean, holy smokes! Like this is literally out of a comic book, right? Like this is unbelievable. And if you, again, he's listed under two names. He's got his middle name in there as well. But there's an unbelievable number of patents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I count just on a cursory search here. This is unbelievable. Laser augmented turbojet propulsion system. Does this stuff exist, Ash? What is going on with this?
Well, they say that the government's always 30 years ahead of the public, right? And yeah, some of these patents are really interesting, like enabling transmission of electrical power with no losses. Like, I guess that would be wireless power. Do you remember that general? I just remember this. Remember that general? He gives a presentation. We brought it on the show. General said there are 3 things that we can do. We can release worldwide right now. Wireless power anywhere on the planet. You can get anywhere on the planet in less than 20 minutes. And what was the third thing? Do you remember that general? That he's claimed these these things that like just seemed that were impossible. And do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember that?
It rings a bell. I don't exactly remember. You're throwing me a curveball here. It'll come to me. But yeah, I remember when we talked about this. This is probably like 6 or 8 months ago, right?
Yeah, this was a while ago. And so now we're looking at patents, and it's like they're claiming basically the technology that would make these things available. So, a story is starting to form, and it's not very far fetched. Conspiracy theories becoming reality. The government, whether they had hands on alien technology or not, is starting to kind of reveal some of this tech that they have. And you hear it through the grapevines, through whistleblowers, but now you're starting to hear it on the mainstream. So now the official media is saying it. Now it's true, right? We've kind of like a lot of these patents have already existed. There's patents on the TR-3B, right? Like there's patents filed for the TR-3B. That's the triangle UFO that people have seen. There's a lot of sightings on it that supposedly the government has had. It's their military craft that can float. It's soundless. It floats. It goes super fast when it wants to. And if this stuff is true, it would be based on that. So, we get whistleblowers like Bob Lazar. We get all this information, but until the media officially prints an article about it, it's not reality. And that kind of like irks me. Like we really need to get over that. Like the word conspiracy theory, if anything last year proved, we should like, when you hear conspiracy theory, you should be like, I want to learn more about that. You know what I mean? Like I want to know more about it, because there's usually some sort of truth in it. So, there's a variety of patents here. It's very interesting. So I think that stuff's starting to come out. Now, is this a real person? Are these real patents? Are these real technologies? You can't really 100% confirm anything, right? And that's kind of like the trouble in these days we live in.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's interesting you bring up, is this dude even a real person? So I did actually look him up just in the Ministry of Truth manner. Do I have it here? There we go. So this is from Wikipedia, and they say he is a real person. This Salvatore Pais guy, right? Is an American aerospace engineer and inventor, currently working for the United States Air Force. He formerly worked at the Naval Air Station Patuxent River. His patent applications on behalf of his employers have attracted international attention for their potential military and energy producing applications, but also doubt about their feasibility and speculation that they may be misinformation intended to mislead the United States strategic adversaries about the direction of United States defense research. Interesting. So apparently, according to this, he's a real guy. But as always, and the things we talk about on Troubled Minds here, is how much of this is actually real alien type stuff, like actual technology. Again, just cruise through some of these things. Unbelievable. Craft using an inertial mass reduction device. Mass reduction. That's what Bob Lazar was talking about, right? I mean, it's that's what actually the pieces, parts, and Hal Puthoff and Linda Moulton Howe. Those are the things they were talking about regarding that piece, that magnesium bismuth piece that we were talking about last night, that somehow got labeled as an Arnon conversation. Wink, wink, like what the heck. But anyway, I digress. Piezoelectricity-induced high-temperature superconductor. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff in here. And so is this disinformation to maybe throw off the American adversaries, as they would say? I think that's a good question. And interesting, they put that right there in Wikipedia. I wouldn't expect them to be like, oh, well, it might be government disinformation right there on the Ministry of Truth. You know what I'm saying? Oh, geez. All right, we're going to keep talking about this, guys. If you want to be part of the show tonight, 702-957-1037. We're talking about the Pais effect and the patents that have supposedly been filed. Actually, no, they've been filed. We've got the proof here. Patents.google.com. I've linked them. You guys can check it out yourselves. What the heck is this? What does this mean? Do you think this that we are literally ahead of the game regarding these things, and this is a real technology, Or is this, as Wikipedia suggested, and as Ash actually suggested here, that maybe this guy's not even real? And this could be some sort of who knows what kind of disinformation campaign. That's really the question here. Looking to hear from you guys tonight. 702-957-1037. One more time, 702-957-1037. Troubledminds.org is the official website, and you can find the Discord link there and also the phone number. It's right on top of the website. Okay, so let's play this last clip real quick from Tim Kasten. And this is where he actually talks about the Pais effect, which is this particular inventor, this person that has these patents on the UFO patents, as they're called. Here we go.
One proposed use for such fields is an electromagnetic field generator device, which would be applied to alter the trajectory of Earth-bound asteroids over a period of time. While the patent makes clear that such a device would work only on small asteroids of under roughly 100 meters in length or less, it isn't hard to grasp the interest of any defense agency in providing contingencies for such a scenario. They say his internal inertial mass reduction device is one of the most extraordinary patents. This technology suggests manipulation of quantum field fluctuations, which could reduce a vehicle's inertial and gravitational mass, allowing it to travel at hitherto unseen speeds. The reason the speed of light is something of a universal speed limit is that mass increases to infinite as one reaches it, demanding infinite energy to continue moving. The ability to reduce mass could have incredible implications for the futures of space travel. Only faster than light speeds of travel would allow humanity to venture outside the solar system. They go on to mention he's got a high temperature superconductor, and last but not least, a high frequency gravitational wave generator. Now, all of this sounds like magic, to be completely honest. I can read through this and it just sounds like science fiction. But this guy's got legit credentials. And what other critics have pointed out is, in order to actually get the patents, there has to be a prototype. So in some fashion, this guy's had to have proved he's got this technology. So what does this mean? Are we looking at the greatest scientific mind of our generation? Or is this just some crackpot who made a bunch of crappy patents and then for some reason someone's rubber stamped them?
Right? What does all that mean? I don't know. Go ahead and take us out to the break, Ash. What do you think about all this? Again, so if this stuff exists, this is Star Trek. We should be living in the Star Trek universe, and somehow we are not. So what the heck is going on?
So, okay, so I'm going to make a guess, okay, guys? So I don't know if this is true, all right? So just hear me out.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay. So from what I understand, what I've heard, rumors and things I've put together is these technologies are life-changing. They change the economy. They change our lives. They change how everything works, right? They're also dangerous. If any one person gets their hands on this and they're unhinged, they can kill everyone on the planet. They can destroy the whole planet. That's how powerful these technologies are. So I think that the higher-ups have decided that there needs to be some sort of new world order government in place in order for this stuff to roll out, so that the higher ups have decided all this stuff has to be kind of rolled out at once, and they're keeping tabs of all the different metrics, compliance, whatever. And I think that vaccines, I think that all this stuff is sort of part of that thing. It's like, you know, yes, you can just print food. You don't have to do this. You don't have to worry about that. You know, there's going to be abundance in this way, but you're also going to have to give up your freedoms. You're going to be surveilled. And honestly, I think that's, in my opinion, the end game based on everything I've done research on. There's kind of like this utopian theory, and whether it's going to be dystopian, you know, utopia, or is always followed by the
we got to go, bro. We got to go. We got to go.
Is always
tick tick
followed by utopia.
Hold that thought. We're gonna circle back around, and we're going to right where we started, right? Project Bluebeam with the first caller. You're listening to Troubled Minds. I'm Mike. This is Ash. Hang tight. We are talking about these Navy UFO patents. We're live on YouTube, live on the Fringe FM. Hang tight. We will be right back. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. And we're talking about advanced propulsion. The supposed UFO Navy patents. Yeah. Salvatore Pais is the man's name, and this is supposed to be real. What do you believe? Remember? We're just a couple guys on the internet with microphones. What do we know? I know. Speak for myself, right? Ash. But we want to hear from you. You guys think this stuff is real? Or do you think this stuff is some sort of a disinformation campaign? As always, right? I think that's the thing that you have to be aware of. We should always take into account when we hear about UFOs, all right? Anything UFOs that comes from anywhere. Because, of course, Forbes or the New York Times or places like this, they are clearly in the seat of power. They're rubbing elbows with the folks out there that run this joint, all right? Of course, let's say a senator, for instance, wants some disinformation, makes a phone call, sends an email or an operative to the New York Times. What's actually going on? So the reports we get, can we take them at face value? Don't know about that. Welcome back, Ash. How you doing, buddy? Are you there? Earth to Mars. Earth to Mars.
Check 1, check 2. I am here.
Fantastic. So what do you
Present.
think? What do you think at the as we start? I cut you off there if you want to finish your thought, if you remember it.
Yeah. I think I was just saying, that if this stuff is real, it's dangerous, and that there needs to be some sort of system in place, and potentially maybe aliens are advising our government. They already have systems in place to kind of get past this point of technological advancement where, I forget what it's called, but it's like where technology is so advanced any one person can destroy the planet. So it's like the Great Barrier. It keeps civilizations from kind of moving forward, and maybe that's always been kind of a concern of the government, of the military, and that's now that they've kind of solved the problem, they kind of have the solution. They're kind of rolling forward, and this is all kind of part of the plan. So as things happen on the domestic front, now they can start releasing this technology. Bob Lazar mentioned that a lot of times they pull out the technology, they make a little bit of progress, and then they kind of get stuck, and they put it away, and they wait, right? So if we're taking Bob Lazar's story as potentially truthful, it would make sense that, maybe they're kind of stuck, and they're just trying to kind of catch modern science up, and it's just taking too long. And so if you notice, they're giving them just enough information for science to kind of get into it, to get interested, to kind of come up with theories about these magic objects in the sky. And all they got to do is fly what they have so far past a camera, do that enough times, put it out in the news, and eventually, people will be like, how do those things work? And that's kind of like where they want people to go. And it seems like, for whatever reason, they don't want people to go any further, especially right now. They don't want people to know. I mean, they just really don't want us to know about aliens, whether they're real or not, right? Let's say they're not real. They want to make sure that we don't know that they're not real. And people talk about keeping that card in their pocket, the false flag alien invasion. But I just suspect that the whole thing is just, for whatever reason, it's a mess, and that not all aliens are probably friendly, and it's just a lot to take in for a public, and they probably don't want to deal with the headache of the complexity of the situation. I mean, that would be my guess. I don't know. But anyway, these patents are interesting, and they're causing a buzz, but like you mentioned, isn't this old news?
Yeah, exactly 1 year ago. they were talking about this exact stuff. And these same patents, you can look them up right on Google again. Plasma compression fusion device, and they have schematics, actual images here and classifications of these things. Thermonuclear fusion reactors with magnetic or electric plasma confinement. I mean, it does seem very science fiction. It seems very otherworldly. Like Tim said there, this stuff seems like magic to me, like actual magic, right? Like that. Well, I can't remember the old quote, but it's something like that, right? Once technology becomes so advanced, it is indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke, I believe, was the guy's name. But see, I did pretty good for not remembering it. But anyway, you get the point. There's a ton of stuff here is this real? And can this be real? Or is this the level that our governments go to do disinformation campaigns to throw off the other guy, right? So clearly you would expect, just like Ash said earlier, if DARPA's way ahead of it on this stuff, and clearly if they were, they wouldn't have released these patents, 30 years ago, because, they're working on it in, let's say a bunker in S4 Groom Lake of Area 51 or reverse engineering alien craft or something, right? I don't know. It seems weird. All of this seems extremely suspicious to me. As always, got that suspicion built into me, baked in, but I can't, I just can't help it. The more you see these UFO stories that end up being clickbait or garbage or all these other things, it ends up, misrepresented, spun, clickbait news. It takes it out of you, It takes its toll, and I think it's taking its toll on reality. And there's that hyper reality that we're living in, where we're mixing fact and fiction, and I think that the government very much knows this. And here we are instead trying to figure out what's going on. So, yeah, I don't know. We got some other clips to play here, but we got a phone call coming real quick. So, yeah. Before we do that, any thought there real quick, Ash, before we take this phone call on my diatribe? My angry rantings?
No, it's a good assessment. It's, you got to remember there's these contracting companies, DARPA and all this stuff, and it's kind of like this... the industrial military complex. They've been basically running unhinged for so long, right? So who knows what they're up to? And like I mentioned earlier, they're always 30 years ahead, right? So who knows what they have, right? And what's actually going on? And we can always count on them to kind of keep us in the dark. You know what I mean? To some degree. Well, I mean, and not to say for good reason sometimes, right? But when you don't know or you don't have a say, you can't tell if it is for good reason or not. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go to the phone call. We're looking to hear from you guys tonight. What do you think is going on with this, and what is happening with these UFO patents? Is this real? Is this, again, some sort of government disinformation campaign, which was stated right there in the Wikipedia article, which surprised the heck out of me. I didn't expect to see that at all. But they mentioned it, that this might be some sort of disinformation thing to keep the Chinese or the Russians off our what's really going on. Who knows? Let's go to the phone call, and we'll keep on moving here. Kelly from Colorado, what's up? You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. How you doing, my man?
Pretty good. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good, thank you. Go right ahead, sir.
Well, I'm just calling in to give you guys some information, I could probably call in, again, third hour, but just for some information for you guys as callers or listeners out there. This technology has been, they've been doing this stuff for a while now. But there are some people that you can research that also has been doing anti-gravity technology with the government for a while, and then, making their own patent, which was his name was Otis T. Carr. They claim that he's also was one of Tesla's proteges. There's another guy named T. Townsend Brown. T. Townsend Brown used to do, he actually made smaller models, that showed that he could make this technology work. He had smaller models that he made for the government. Also, there's his name is Jim Murray. He actually claims that he's going to be writing a book here pretty soon. He's going to he claims that he's got a lot of he's a scientist. Like he's broke a lot of Tesla's patents, and he's going to write a book on it. Also, there's another guy that some of the stuff that you were talking about that you want to see some videos. I was talking in chat. His name was John Hutchinson, and it's called the Hutchinson effect. It's they use electricity in just small amounts, and the small amounts that he has, the first testings that he did was anti-gravity. I actually posted it on in Discord on the chat and also in the on Facebook. But it's a video. If you want to play that, just for like maybe the first 35 seconds, it shows quick examples of how his machine works. But it was he could do anti-gravity. Actually, how I found this one was actually they say that was his technology what took down the Twin Towers. There's a lady on there that it's a documentary called the Day the Tower Fell, the Day the Towers Fell, and she talks about how she was a top scientist for demolition, all natural and anything could fall from any kind of different type of destructive device, explosions or anything, but. She was called upon, and when she found out, and she knew about John Hutchinson, and she said that this is technology, this is the exact same things that they were finding, where it had like fusing metal, things that were being thrown around, that was being after like, it could be a weapon or it could be utilized as anti-gravity, because the video shows it in the, that I sent to you guys. If you guys want to check that out.
Okay, I can pull it up. We'll pull that up in the third hour and take a look. So yeah, I've heard of this Hutchinson effect, and I don't know, like all of that. So you think that means that a lot of this UFO patents today, you think this stuff is real? Why would they release it and put it on Google Patents? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I mean, these people have been. You got to understand too. You guys talk about it all the time, where the government separates. Like, say they had technology of the Roswell crash. They're not going to send that all into one area where, that's how leaks get. They would break that part down, say like an anti-fusion reactor or some shit like that. They're going to send it to one department. And the reason why it was the Navy and the patents that they called the Navy patents, the only reason why, at the time when all this stuff happened in the 40s and 50s, at the time the person that was leading the military at the time was an admiral. So everything that fit underneath there, if it was like an Air Force guy or an Army guy, it would probably all those patents and stuff now, even now that today would be going under those, like the Department of the Air Force or the Army, but it was under the Navy at that time, and that's why you'll find. I was actually stationed at Pax River, Maryland, where they do a lot of those. It's actually a real secret base too. Like because the way Maryland is, it's got a lot of woods, and on that base you got to drive around and get into certain areas, and some areas that you're not even allowed to go into. But yeah, they do all that technology over there, the wave propulsion, because it's the Navy needs some of that stuff. We're looking for like underground or underwater or above water, any kind of thing that's going to give us an advantage.
Gotcha. Okay, you're making sense, man. You're making sense. We got to keep moving here. Got the radio clock ticking, but I appreciate the call. If you want to share more of this, give us a call in the third hour. Okay.
All right, there. Copy that, man. You guys have a good one.
Appreciate it, my man. Thanks for the call. Kelly from Colorado. Fantastic call. You guys want to be part of the show? 702-957-1037. We'll put you on the show. Troubledminds.org is the official website. Did you catch what he said, Ash? Thoughts on that? Holy smokes.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, he's right. Like, whether it was before or after the Bob Lazar leak, and we can argue, we could talk about whether or not Bob Lazar was fed misinformation or not. But they do a really good job. They've kept this secret under wraps for a long time, a variety of tactics and compartmentalizing the different sections of projects.
and then fragmenting them to different bases and different teams. It keeps any one person from really knowing the whole picture. Then you fill it in with some BS propaganda, and now they not only don't know the big picture, the big picture that they would claim is like dumb, right? So there was a person who went on Joe Rogan, and she was claiming, her insider said that when the Roswell crash was a fake from Russia, and that it was children who were deformed and like with stuff sewn on them. And Joe Rogan looked at her like, yeah, like you can see his face.
That's Annie Jacobson. Like, Annie Jacobson. Yeah.
And I'm sure her source believes this, and because of the authenticity of her source, she believes it, and that's cool. But like it goes along with, well, before in the chain of command, it's corrupted. That guy got corrupted information, right? That's clearly a stupid story. Like that doesn't even make any sense. I can't even like make that up. So I mean, it happens, right? So they've done a really good job of keeping things secret, keeping things compartmentalized. I'd be interested in learning what he does know, because when you are in the military, whether you're that deep or in it or not, you kind of get a gist of how things kind of work, right? So great call. Good information. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Always.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody else, too, you're welcome on the show, 702-957-1037. I'll put the number up on the stream. If you guys listen, you guys always know I'm reading this number constantly. You want to be part of it? troubledminds.org. Phone number is right on top. Give us a call. But okay, let's go to, so now we were talking about Timcast, right? And he was we started with him, and he was talking to this individual named Jeremy Rise, who's also known as the alien scientist, okay? And he actually does science, and he's somebody that looks into this exact type of thing. And so they had him on the Timcast show, Tim Pool, as an expert, and they were talking about these Navy patents, these UFO fusion energy patents, or whatever these terms are. There's a lot of these really fanciful terms here. But let's see what he had to say. He was actually talking to Tim and his crew there, and he had some pretty interesting insights. So let's play a couple clips.
So it says right in there in the article by it's Tyler Rogaway and Brett Tingley of thedrive.com. They've been doing a lot of great reporting on some of these, technologies that are being declassified and stuff. This one's of particular interest. Thing about the Pais thing, right, is what really confuses me is that I know they've spent more than $500,000 investigating this. That they spent $500 million to build a railgun for the Navy. If they're really interested in this technology, they're going to be spending more than $500,000.
$500 million for a railgun?
Yes, that's what the railguns cost.
Yeah, but is that just like the government wastes money all the time?
It's hard to say, because it's either government is very wasteful, as we've seen with NASA. They're buying their rockets from SpaceX because the private industry does it cheaper. So there's that, but there's also the issue of subject matter experts. This is how DARPA tends to do things. I was just reading the book downstairs on the brain, Pentagon's brain, which is DARPA. And the way they do things is they get subject matter experts or people who are looking into these kinds of things, and then they give them funding for their research. And that's how these projects are picked up. They find guys like Pais, who he wrote his thesis on this very interesting thesis paper on bubble reactions and his theory of warping space-time, and so they funded him. But I know that this is not the only research that's been done in this. The research on this goes back to the mid-1990s to a guy named Bernard Haish, who worked at Caltech University. And he had a contract with Lockheed Martin Skunk Works and wrote a bunch of papers with Hal Puthoff and a number of other gentlemen back in the late mid-90s on this sort of space-time metric warping theory of inertia and of what mass is, and how to get mass and momentum, and how to alter those things using refractive indexes of materials and stuff like that.
Refractive indexes of materials and stuff like that. Talking about advanced propulsion tonight. What the heck is going on? If all this stuff is actually out there working, how come we don't see it? What's going on? There's no Meet George Jetson situation happening, or Star Trek. I still see people oogling over like the latest Tesla car because it's electric. What's going on with this stuff? Yeah, it's hard to believe, is it not? I think that, based on the technology, sure, fine. This theoretical concepts are one thing, but filing patents with the patent office is something else entirely, is it not? I think that implies that maybe some of these things are actually working, and or at least maybe in their infancy. Who knows? Or again, disinformation. I have no idea. Oh boy, I don't know.
Yeah,
Ash.
I mean, there's real no way to know. We just gotta have to kind of listen and fill in the gaps, and it's like we're detectives trying to figure out a mystery, and I think that some of it's gonna start coming out. I think more and more is coming out for whatever reason. We're gonna see what that's like, but it's interesting. There's a lot of interesting questions. Why is it coming out? Why is this coming out? What is it? Is it true? You know what I mean? These are all questions, and they're good questions to have. And we've been questioning the narrative forever, so we're going to continue to do so. Even when the freaking alien walks out on stage, I am Xenu, and I come in peace. We're going to be like, yeah, is it though? And it's like, dude, this is what you've been waiting for. It's like, yeah, but I don't know.
It's a deep fake. It's a phony alien. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We got a good comment here on Facebook. Brian says thousands of people see it. UFOs everywhere. And so that would, great comment. Thank you. That would imply those UFOs belong to us, right? Yeah. I don't know. Again, what do you guys think as we wind this down into another break here and the last segment? We're talking about advanced propulsion. We're talking about these actual drives of let's see, Salvatore Pais laser augmented turbojet propulsion systems, craft using an inertial mass reduction device. These almost science fiction sounding things have been filed patents by the U.S. Navy and a scientist physicist that is working with them by the name of Salvatore Pais. What do you guys think as we wind this down? We'd love to hear from you. 702-957-1037. And I don't know. We don't have answers here. We're just speculating just like you, wondering what's really going on. Everybody knows there's UFOs in the sky. But who do they belong to?
Mm-hmm. How open if there are aliens? That's the question. And how open are we? Are they just flying around? Are they hanging out? Is it like Men in Black? Is it like
taking a break, buddy? Taking a break, Ash. Hold that thought. Make a note. We'll be right back. You're listening to Troubled Minds. I'm Mike. This is Ash. We're talking about advanced propulsion technology. Be back right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. And we're talking about advanced propulsion. The Navy's UFO fusion energy patent. Is this stuff real? You tell us. 702-957-1037. One more time. That's 702-957-1037. As always, lots to talk about, lots to think about. What is going on in this world? Welcome back, Ash. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
All right.
How you doing?
Good. We got a couple more clips here to play from the alien scientist who was on Tim Pool just recently this past week. And the censorship is coming hot and heavy. They're after him too. I saw him tweet something recently that he lost. He gained a whole bunch of followers from being on Timcast, Tim Pool's podcast, who's massively popular. Of course, you guys have heard of him probably. But he gained a whole bunch, and then they trimmed out like 4,000 right after that. Like he just lost 4,000 followers in the dead of night. as they're coming for all of us. All right, so a couple more clips to play here. What are your guesses then? So we clearly know there's UFOs out there, and they belong to somebody. What percentage do you think belong to us? I guess that's the pertinent question here when we're looking at these type of
question.
Patents. Fusion energy patents. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think that there are like tiers of technology amongst civilizations throughout the universe. I mean, this would just be common sense. And so, if you talk to Dr. Stephen Greer, he says something interesting. And I don't really know about that guy. So, but, I don't think any one person is completely misinformation. I think every person has some information, some value to contribute. You just have to discern for yourself what is truthful and what isn't, and whether it's on purpose or not, right? And that's always the case. But he mentioned that if it looks like a ship and you can kind of discern what it is, if it has metal, that's ours, and that's the kind of stuff that we have. Like the stealth bomber, the TR-3B, that it literally just looks like the stealth bomber on crack. It looks cool. It's like what we would think looks cool, It's like dark triangle, silent thing. It's kind of sick. But if that the alien technology is stuff that we can't discern, and that we haven't figured out how to like back engineer the good stuff. So that's a narrative I've heard, that corroborates with the Bob Lazar stuff, where Bob Lazar mentioned that we dug up UFOs. I mean, they've been here for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, heck, it could be from the dinosaur era. We don't know. So our universe is vast, and to get from where we are to just like anywhere else in the galaxy is just such vast distances that with our current limitations on our physics and everything like that, it's just not possible. And so this patent mentions like mass reduction. That's one of the key components. It's like if you have mass, then your limitation is the speed of light. And even at the speed of light, which is super fast, it still would take forever to get anywhere. So you kind of have to break what we know as like the current laws of physics. And that's what these patents are talking about. They're breaking what we know. And just that fact, what we know, that means science is not caught up with whatever this stuff supposedly is. And I think that's the point of all this, is to try and get science caught up. So that's how science works. It's out in the open. People criticize it. They go back and forth. They give feedback. They write papers. They criticize those papers. So, yeah. Did I answer your question? I think I did.
Yeah, very well. Very well. I've selected a comment of the night. And Penelope on the Fringe FM Discord says this: all your UFO are belong to us. And that is the comment of the night, my friends.
Amen. That's right.
Definitely good stuff. Thanks again for hanging out, guys. Thanks for being part of this. Let's play a little bit more of this. So this is Jeremy. Is it Jeremy Rise? I think that's his name. I keep messing it up.
I am super bad with names. I could never be a politician.
Same here. Yeah, exactly.
Go with butts.
That's why you call everybody bro and you're good. Jeremy Rise, the alien scientist. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. All right, so this is him talking on the Tim Pool podcast, and they're talking about these military patents. Here's part 2, and he's an actual scientist. He's spent time doing a lot of actual science and looking into the individuals that are supposedly doing these patents, and so he's the expert. So let's hear what he has to say. Part 2. This is again, I forgot his name already. Jeremy Rise, the alien scientist, on Tim Pool Action.
So there's been some research going on to this that goes back quite a ways. That's less talked about than sort of this stuff.
So let's just get to the brass tacks. Is this real? Do you think it's real?
Well, I don't know that if it was real, the U.S. Navy wouldn't put their goods right out there for us to see. They wouldn't just patent it. And in fact, they might change a couple things in the patent to make the technology inoperable or not give out secrets. We have to look at that part about where it said they got the patents granted through warning of similar Chinese advances. And when we look at those similar Chinese advances, I sent you guys 2 papers in particular on that list that I sent you to to two of the papers that are written by Chinese universities and a lot of Chinese researchers on this, and it's related to what are called optical phenomena and squeeze states. So they take a parametric generator, they oscillate it at twice the resonant frequency, and it creates these squeezed states. And these,
you gotta slow down for me. What does that mean?
So this is it. What it means is that if we take a photon plus a photon, the Feynman diagram for that, it annihilates, and that's where we get our graviton from. So we know that gravity is an interaction of photons and the way that photons interact with matter, and that they're trying to change this through a warping of the refractive index of light in the around these materials.
So they're trying to make stuff float?
Apparently they can make stuff float, and then there's rumors that this was reverse engineered from alien technology, that the U.S. Navy has had kind of this technology for years. They didn't know how it worked because it's operating on quantum principles and quantum mechanics. It's not
we
easy.
Can't see it.
We can't see it.
Okay, you check that out. Now he's saying that there are rumors that the American military has had access to these technologies for a very long time, because of these UFOs, all right? These either crashes or, like Bob Lazar and Ash was just alluding to, maybe they dug these things up. Maybe they've been here for a long time. Maybe that Anunnaki story rings true here. Photons, gravitons, it's all over my head. But if you can show me some sort of actual anti-gravity feature to make something float that shouldn't, I'm in. You win. You win. Game over. Good game. I'm with you. But I haven't seen it yet. Well, I guess maybe. I guess it depends on the context, right? Maybe anybody who's seen a UFO has seen it. And indeed, Ash, do all your UFOs belong to us? Is that true?
They must. I mean, who else would they belong to? That's the real question. Right?
The aliens.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's, I will say, what's curious about this patent is, hold on, let me see if I can find it. I would click a button and it'd play music, like elevator music.
I got you. I'll talk. I'm just kicking it. I'm having a good time here. We're talking about these advanced propulsion technologies, guys, and how much of this, if this is real, how much of this is actually ours, our technology as like a military, as like a human civilization, or how much of this is maybe theirs, the ETs, right? It had to have come from somewhere, and I have a hard time believing that suddenly you just clunk out these patents on Google and this stuff is real. I have a hard time believing that. Like, if these are going to just clunk out on Google, like public information, then one, in my mind, it's disinformation, or two, this has been long and well known since who knows when. Again, go back to 30, 40 years for DARPA. Who knows? Who knows what's really happening here? Do you find your spot?
Yeah, I can't find it in the patent, but it mentions something about spiraling stuff to create a magnetic field. And what's interesting is there's this memory. I remember researching abductions. And this is something I really wanted to point out because I think it's – I can't even find it. I can't even find half the stuff anymore. Is someone was on a UFO and they were given a tour. And so sometimes some of these abductions are supposedly somewhat pleasant. They'll like go through like some formalities, one could say, some medical things where they just make sure you're not bringing contagions onto the ships or whatever. And again, this can all be BS, right? It could all be people having dreams, whatever. But I like to look at the abduction stuff and try and find if there's commonalities between people's stories that they necessarily may not be aware of. And one of these things I found is that commonly in a lot of these craft, when people are given tours, there's this cylindrical engine type thing that goes through the center of the craft, and they try to explain it to the people a few times, and then it just goes over their head and then right over mine too. It's just like a bullet going through both of our heads. But something was spiraling in like mercury or some sort of chemicals, and there's like a counter spiral,
and that creates that magnetic field. And I thought that was really interesting. And if you look at in the last show I was on, we talked about that that alien reproduction vehicle that supposedly was back engineered from, and they had a similar propulsion kind of device. And so I see that in these patents, and I go, huh. And so what's crazy is that, like, years ago, I'm on the internet trying to make these connections for myself. You know, my beard's growing. I'm in a basement. I'm starting to smell. I'm getting crazy. My fingernails are growing long.
I still love you, Ash. I still love you, buddy.
Thanks, man. You know, just all conspiracy theorists, and it feels. I can't say I'm validated or vindicated yet, but it feels good that over time, like some of these hypothesi, I don't know what the plural version of this sounds like, hypotenuse. I feel like, I feel a little vindicated, you know, like I'm not crazy. Like I'm able to like kind of like guess some of these things. And, you know, before the show, I'd try to bring this up to other people and they look at me like, cool. You know, like wide eyed, like, you okay? You're nuts. You know, you're nuts.
Insane.
And yeah. And here we are talking about it. And now it's on like, you know, Forbes
and the New York Times.
Yeah. It ain't real unless it's on the New York Times, man.
Yeah. I guess that's the shtick here. Another fantastic comment from Penelope. She's hogging up all the amazing comments tonight. I have a really hard time believing that after World War II, the research stagnated and all they've come up with is the stealth bomber.
Exactly.
That's a heck of a point. That's a heck of a point.
That's a good point. Yeah. They used to have these aeronautic magazines and they'd pop off about what they had, right? And then they just like went silent. And then Fox and Mulder, or Scully and Mulder on Fox, I think it was, they like, you know, then that show started and then it's kind of all stopped, right? It's all kind of around the same time. And yes, technology is advanced. We have these cool cell phones, these cool pads, but I mean, has it really? Like, we don't have jets and flying cars and stuff, right? So, this is a good comment, good point.
Yeah, and exactly what's going on. That's my test for the future, right? We don't have flying cars yet. It ain't the future. I want a refund. I want a recount. I demand a recount. All right. One more clip. This is from again. Tim Pool had the alien scientist. His name is Jeremy Rys. He's RYS. He's on he's actually on another show tonight as well. I'll try and get him on the show. He's been receptive on Twitter when I've contacted him. So hopefully we can get him on and he can talk about these things at length. That would be amazing. But yeah, I mean, this is exactly the type of things we should be thinking about, the things that we should be talking about, and that's why we're here doing it. So one more clip and then we'll round this out.
This something really. I want to say something. I was reading once about UFO technology and about what would happen if humans actually discovered a flying saucer in like the 50s.
Right.
And they said if you gave, I don't know why they chose this guy, Christopher Columbus, a nuclear submarine and infinite resources, they would never figure out how to reproduce it.
Yeah, it's an iPhone in Rome. Yeah, the same idea.
I remember hearing that kind of conversation on the Joe Rogan podcast with Bob Lazar, and he was specifically talking about some of the technological advancements that we're kind of hinting at here. And what you said, I was actually thinking, not the smart part, but the part specifically about if the U.S. government had such technology, why would they release it to the public? It would be counterintuitive for them to do this, especially if they had something that was advanced, good, useful. I think this most likely, in my own personal opinion, is a part of either one, a larger psyop against countries like China, against countries like Russia, or two, a larger call for other scientists to come in and say, hey, we're working on this. This is what we got. What does the scientific community think about this? What's the reaction? Can anyone help us build this? Because that's essentially where they want to go, in my opinion. This new kind of Star Wars kind of like powers and authority, whether it's light speed or lightsabers, whatever it is.
Well, we have Space Force.
Exactly what they're talking about. Well, they're talking about...
we don't sword fight anymore, Luke.
Well, maybe. You never know. With technological advancements, we can't even conceive where the future is going to go, just like Christopher Columbus couldn't utilize a nuclear submarine.
Okay, so Christopher Columbus couldn't utilize a nuclear submarine. And the old iPhone in Rome type of situation, right? Like that's what they're discussing here. This is again the Timcast podcast. They're talking about on there with the alien scientist Jeremy Rise. And what do you think about that? So if you put the iPhone in Rome, to them it's a brick, right? They wouldn't be able to make heads or tails of this thing. It would be like you say, like monkeys kind of tapping sticks on this thing, wondering what the heck is going on, right? But in the same, you would expect if you dropped us a UFO and said, go ahead, get after it, that we might be perplexed, that we might be, I don't know, does this corroborate Bob Lazar at all? I don't know. Interesting thoughts, eh?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of like putting together a story, and the story's not, I mean, it just makes sense, right? It's like, oh, we have this alien stuff. We're going to keep the advantage militarily. We would 100% do that. But, can we figure it all out? No. And to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to go left field a tiny bit. The Farsight guys, they remote viewed the Roswell incident, and they saw that we kind of like, this is what I put together from it, that we had all this technology, but that's different from the technology that the aliens currently have now, right? Those are two different things. Like when we go to other countries and we sell them stuff, we sell them our old stuff. We're not going to sell them our like most modern stuff. Why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense. It's like, hey, Mike, I'm going to fight you. All right. I have a gun. You have I have a gun. I'm going to sell you a baseball bat. Right. Like, so it's like, where first push comes to shove, I have the gun. Yes, we both have a baseball bat, but I have a gun too. So we're never going to sell give our good stuff. So it's probably the same with aliens. I suspect that we have contracts, we have certain things that they probably don't even want to disclose or talk about. So they're trying to go down this route, right? Where they're like, oh, there's aliens up there, and we're studying them too. We don't really know, but based on that remote viewing data, we had meetings with them, and we kind of betrayed them. We mismanaged the relationship, and we actually managed to shoot one down and retrieve the craft. And so, yeah, I mean, if Bob Lazar's story is true, they have 9 different craft. Maybe they figured out how 2 of them work, but they don't figure out how the rest of them work, right? So, and there's always limitations. You learn a technology. There's always how to fully utilize it. Remember the Razor phone?
I do.
That thing?
It's back. It's back. They got the Razor's back, dude.
Yeah. Oh man, I had to get me one. But you had that pad, and it flipped open, and now you have I have Alexa. I'll just literally say to change the lights at my house, and it's technology moves really quick. So multiply that by another 1,000 years, and the adoption of the technology, and so. I will say this, and kind of wrapping it up with what I said with the narrative earlier. I'm a little scared of New World Order, all this stuff come down the pipe. I just see big moves happening, just some big moves, and that kind of scares me. But it also kind of excites me in a way, in 10 years, could we be just teleporting to different places, and could fossil fuels be removed? I mean, the potential for our future, even just based on these patents, is, wireless power, infinite energy. This is some really awesome stuff. So I'm always dualistically optimistic and pessimistic, and I guess time will tell, right?
Yeah, well, I'm with you. I'm going to take the optimistic approach and hope in 10 years we are actually teleporting around. We've already stopped commuting for the most part, right? Everybody's working from home. So maybe, even if we can't actually physically teleport with some of this advanced technology we're talking about tonight, maybe Zuckerberg can lock us into his VR world, and we can teleport that way, as we talked about on the news show a couple days back. He's talking about we shouldn't be commuting at all. We should be teleporting. And he doesn't mean it literally. He means that you slap on the VR, and then they have this weird boardroom, and you assume that this avatar of yourself in the boardroom with everybody else who's doing the same thing.
Oh wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
It's like I love convenience and like ordering stuff on Amazon and whatever. But like as a populace, we're becoming weaker, right? I mean, you can't even like gather now. It's like
against the law. You need a permit. You need a permit.
Yeah. If you want to like, it's going to become harder and harder to like organize and fight for our own rights. And so like in utopian kind of ideas, it's all. If everything works out good, it's good. But like, history says otherwise.
History says otherwise. We got 2 minutes. Just FYI. So, final thought here. Do you think this stuff is real, or do you think it is not?
I think it is, man. I think it's like I mentioned before. I think it's just they're trying to get it out and get some help. And the fact that it's being discussed on Timcast, Forbes, it says a lot. So I'm strapped in. Let's see where this ride takes us. We got 100 and X days left before that stuff comes out. We had a crazy election. We had crazy stuff going on. So let's see where things take us. And let's hope it all works out for the good. Let's meditate, be positive out there, guys. Stay open-minded, learn from each other. Call in. We'll talk to you guys. This is conversations about for all of us to figure stuff out together, and discern this world. Really interesting stuff going on, and we'll see what happens, man. Maybe I'll take an alien flight over to you. Maybe I'll hop on one of these TR-3Bs and teleport down or something.
I'm down. If you do, bring some alien brew. We'll trade. We'll make a good trade.
It'll kill you.
Okay. Never mind. You can keep it.
It's the good stuff.
You can keep it. All right. As we finish, guys, like the question is this. We're going to go in a third hour on Facebook, on YouTube. We're still streaming. If you're listening to the Fringe FM, we are on Facebook, YouTube, and broadcasting on the Fringe FM. Stay tuned for Joe Roop, Lighting the Void. Fantastic conversations there. Always great guests and talking about consciousness. That's the thing. Right now, you're listening to Troubled Minds, and we're done. I'm Mike. This is Ash. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing. It means a lot. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our Troubled Minds to yours, have a great night. All right. Oops. Sorry about that. We're back. Oops. All right. The dead air. Dead hair is no good. All right. Here we go. We're going to continue with this. We're still talking about this stuff. Ash had to take off, so it's just us. If you guys have comments on this, what do you think? Is this stuff actually real? Are these patents from this Pais guy, the Salvatore Pais? Let's go to this. We can read some of this. We have tons of links that we can't get to. As you guys can tell, the radio with the commercials is just a little bit slower. You kind of have to tighten everything into like these breaks, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But now it's just us. We get to go just blaze through an hour of. If you want to call and be part of it now, you got 10 minutes. You want longer? You got longer than that. So we don't now. No time, no clock, no anything. You want to be part of this? What do you think? This Salvatore Pais guy supposedly has these patents. I'm going to read this one more time from Wikipedia. Again, the Ministry of Truth. Wink, wink. Salvatore Caesar Pais is an American aerospace engineer and inventor, currently working for the United States Air Force. He formerly worked at the Naval Air Station Patuxent River. His patent applications on behalf of his employers have attracted international attention for their potential military and energy-producing applications, but also doubt about their feasibility and speculation that they may be misinformation intended to mislead the United States strategic adversaries about the direction of United States defense research. And again, straight from the Ministry of Truth. Wikipedia, there's a ton more that we can dig into that's straight on this, but I don't really care about this. It's just a basis for the conversation. I want to hear what you guys have to say. And if you want to be part of the show, here's the phone number, 702-957-1037. As usual, you guys know where to go, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Discord is up and running. Should be okay. We got Ash. Ash is back. Holy shit. Ash is back. He dumped Skype. We're using Skype because audio was a wreck before we started, so we had to. It was like Plan B. It was like and clearly we. Anyway, Ash is back. Sweet. So he's in the Discord, so it looks like he'll be back and be here in a sec. So anyway, we're looking to talk to you. 702-957-1037 if you want to be on the show tonight, and click the Discord link, and we'll get you on the show. But what do you think? Now, there's a lot here. Okay, so if we're talking about advanced propulsion and some of this other weird stuff, right? We're talking about actually reducing the mass of an object. We're talking about levitation. We're talking about bending the laws of physics here. All right, maybe even outright breaking them. Is this stuff real? And if this is real and we have access to this, like I said in the show there, where the hell's my Jetsons car? Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, we got these crappy drones you can buy from DJI or whatever, right? Like, the technology's fine and it's impressive, right? From where we came from. But holy crap, if we actually have some sort of anti-gravity technology that's been done, where the hell are my flying cars, people? Can somebody explain this to me? I'm starting to get upset about this just a little bit, if you can tell. Really? Propellers, though? We're still using propellers for drones, clearly. But you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't add up, does it? It just doesn't add up. So either somebody inside the government is withholding tons of actual information that that we're not using. They're using it. We're not using it. It's not a commercial thing. And so, what are we doing? No Jetsons car. I don't know what's going on. I want it. I want one. I don't want a Tesla.
It's called the breakaway civilization.
The breakaway civilization. Yeah. And welcome back, Ash. Thanks, buddy. Sorry you got to talk back. Actually, let's see if we can fix that. Hold on one sec. We got a phone call coming in. We'll take that in just a moment. Welcome back, buddy. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Go ahead and say something. Let's see if we can fix this on the fly.
So, the aliens grabbed me in the night. They took me up in their spaceship. They poured me vodka. And they wooed me.
And you don't hear yourself.
Next thing you know, I don't hear myself anymore.
It's fixed. All right, go. Carry on, sir.
Amen, brother. Amen. No, I mean, we hear rumors of this breakaway civilization, right? And if these technologies are true, like, yeah, it's like the Industrial Revolution on crack. It's like wireless power everywhere. I mean, when you have like infinite power, basically, like, it changes the game. Like, the Iron Man suit. The Iron Man suit wasn't possible until he created that arc reactor that put into his chest that powered his suit. It's kind of like the same idea with anything. It's like anything's possible. Robots everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and it's curious. It's like they're pushing this 5G network. And there's a lot of conspiracy around that, but that's not what we're getting into. But basically, that everything's kind of wired, and there's this kind of like Internet of Things where any device has access to information. So if you have wireless power, then you could just have robots just going around doing stuff at all times. You don't need really satellites as much. And I don't know. It's I imagine that these people kind of have an idea, or they're either in that world, this new the world that makes these technologies possible, or the world that these technologies makes possible, or they kind of have an idea of what it could be, and maybe that's around the corner. I really believe in 10 years from now we're gonna, the last year was just like a starting point. 10 years from now we're gonna be like, wow, a lot has changed, and it's.
I agree. I agree. All right, so we're going to go to this phone call here, and we're still taking your calls, guys. Another hour here. I'm not sure how long Ash can stay. He said he'll stay as long as he can. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Come join us. Come talk to us and whoever else might be listening about alien tech, about this weird propulsion stuff. Do you think it's real? And if it is real, where the hell is my flying car? That's what I want to know. All right, let's go to this phone call. You're on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
This is Robert from Washington.
Robert from Washington.
We spoke about a week or so ago.
What's happening, buddy? How are you?
Doing good. So I'm one of the experts with all the Tesla stuff, and I had hopefully get on the show of our own, and we could talk more in depth. But some of the stuff that you guys were talking about kind of piqued my interest, so I wanted to call in and interject with you guys for a little while.
Okay, perfect. I did get your email. We'll set that up. We'll have you on the show. I promise. Okay. But go ahead.
No worries, man. I'm sure you got a lot to do.
I do. I'm juggling a lot of things.
Yeah,
So so what are your thoughts on this alien tech? Is it real? Is it now? Are they using it against us? Where the hell's my flying car? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's here. It's past tense, and your flying car is being hidden from you. They don't feel that the mass populace is ready for this type of stuff, for multiple reasons. But this technology has been known for 100+ years. Sure, the crash in Roswell started to advance things, so they got some hands on some meta material, as you were talking about last night, and stuff like that. But this technology has been known for a long time. And it's all the same thing. So we can say anti-gravity, we could say light, heat, radiation. All energy is the same thing. The only difference is the frequency, the vibration, and things like that, the way that you can manipulate this technology. I believe Ash was saying a lot of people have recounted this column inside of these space vessels where there was a vortex spinning. So that's kind of one of the cores to where you can create this anti-gravity time travel technology, is that you get a liquid metal and you strobe it with an energy source and
yes.
dial it into a frequency, and you can get a desired result. One of those desired results can be anti-gravity. One of them can be to travel interstellar. One of them can be, and space-time is all the same, so you can travel through time with the same technology. It's fairly simple. It's really demonstrable. Even a layman can do this. You can do it with mercury, but mercury is not the best thing to do it with. There's a lot of other liquid metals that you can manipulate with the same energy field. And you can create propulsion. You can create anti-gravity. You can travel through time and space. And that's what these folks out there, when you call them ETs or whatever we want to call them these days, that's what they've been doing for millennia. And I do believe we've been privy to this for at least 100 and some odd years.
Okay, so this stuff...
And if you look into the Bible and everything... Sorry?
Okay, so this stuff does exist. You're convinced this stuff has been around for a long time, and that it's just being hidden from us, kind of like Ash was saying, sort of that breakaway civilization type stuff, where there's a disconnect between us, the plebs, and the unwashed masses, like I like to, tongue-in-cheek refer to us, just the regular people, and the elites.
Sure.
And they have access to this stuff, and they've had access to this stuff, and they're keeping it from us. And so it's what keeps them in power and what keeps us not, right? Am I reading this correctly, or am I putting words in your mouth?
I mean, you're somewhat correct. So there are people that are going to be able to understand this technology and accept it. And there's the masses, which even if we told them, that this was possible, they would reject you, they would kill you, they would shoot you down. And this is what happens to all these engineers and inventors over time. They go and kill them because, it's the powers that be that are keeping them down. And I don't know the source of that. I don't know whether it's, they think that we're ready or not to do it, or if they're trying to keep a foothold on their circumstance here on the earth. I honestly believe that we're being controlled by a third power that be, and they don't want us to know this, because as soon as we know it and we're able to access this type of technology, then their foothold over control of us goes away.
Okay, so this third party entity, is this alien? Is this spiritual, paranormal? What is this? Dimensional? What's going on with this?
I mean, if you want to refer to it as alien, then sure. I don't believe it is of this earth, so I guess it would fall into that category.
Okay, so for what you know, it's to be determined what this thing is, but there's certainly an entity out there that has some sort of control over us. And I'm only asking to clarify because there's tons of things we've talked about on this show. Like I said, we've been doing this for a couple, 3 years now. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting you correctly. So, for instance, we've talked about the archons in the past. I'm not sure if you've heard of this. It's a interdimensional type of entity that feasts on negativity and is constantly waging a war on humanity, making us hate each other, making us war with each other, and that a lot of this, good and evil trope is based on their energy, them stealing it from us, and them also turning us into monsters against each other. Have you heard of this? And is that maybe similar to what you're talking about?
I have not heard of that, but that sounds about absolutely correct. I would not consider myself a Christian, but I was raised in a Baptist household where I had to go to church, 3 to 4 days a week. I'm well understood in the Bible, and the first thing that my dad did when I said I didn't believe a fucking word that they were saying, excuse me for the F-bomb, I think we're after hours though. But
you're correct. You're correct.
The first thing that I did when I said that I didn't believe in this is he encouraged me to go study religion. So I've come full circle back now, where I honestly believe a lot of what's in the Bible is true.
Okay.
A lot of it is allegory and myth, but there's a lot of truth in there. I believe there's truth in all religion.
Okay.
And what goes to show in the Bible, you got to realize these people didn't have the same words that we use to describe things today. So when you talk about angels or flying discs in the sky or anything like that, a lot of it's relatable to today, but it's under interpretation. I do believe there's a force battling against humanity itself to keep us suppressed from reaching a higher level.
Interesting. All right. Do me a favor. Look into archons and Gnosticism, because that's exactly what I described and exactly what you're kind of talking about here without a name for it. So curious that there's maybe and this is old. This is like biblical. This is the Gnostic Gospels that were not included in the Bible itself. So the forbidden books, right?
We're talking about the same thing, brother.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Crazy stuff. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. We got Ash here. I'm going to get his commentary on what you said, so you can take his answers offline, because you can't hear him, but he can hear you right now because our audio thing is jacked up. But I appreciate the call. I promise you we'll get you on the show soon. Okay. I'll send you an email. We'll get you set up. What nights are good for you? We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You just hit me up, man. We'll set it up.
Okay. You got it, my friend. Thank you again, Robert from Washington. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the insight. Talk to you soon.
You as well, brother. Have a good night. Thanks, you as well, Ash. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. All right. There we go. All right, Ash, I know you heard that, and he couldn't hear you, so we turned you off so you don't have the echo in your brain, which is an audio limitation and all my fault. But what'd you think about all that? Holy smokes, right? We're talking about archons now. Wait, hold on. Let's see. All right. Actually, maybe Ash is not here. Oh, yeah, he took off. All right, he took off. Okay, so anyway. All right. This is the deal, right? Now, oh, no, he's back. Ash, you're on.
I'm back.
What's up, buddy?
I'm back.
Thoughts on that call? Thoughts on the call, man?
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a lot to take in there, It's so let's go by canonical order here. I was taking some notes. So, I told you people, my tinfoil hat is tall AF. It's all the way to the ceiling. It's bending down, okay? warp drive thing where where they have the fluid and spinning like some sort of metal fluid, and then you have a counter spin, and then it creates a field like that. I mean, if you watch Star Wars, everyone's kind of using the same tech, right? Once the cat's out of the bag, everyone's kind of just using it. And yeah, you may not know exactly how it works, but I don't know exactly how my car works, and I can still get that thing going. So I'm assuming it's similar. Like once the cat's out of the bag, it becomes standard. You know, you have a modulator, you have a alternator. You know what I'm saying? Like this is kind of like standard stuff probably in the universe. So there could be alien. I'm just saying.
I'm just checking.
I'm just saying words that sound. So like an alien could like be flying a ship that he doesn't even know how it works, right? That he got for his 5th birthday, crash it into the planet 10,000 years ago, and then our government digs it up, and they're like, "Wow, this is way more advanced than anything that we could possibly like hope to even invent." You know what I mean? That's like totally possible. And yeah, the fabric of space-time, for these things to basically move these vast distances, you need to manipulate space, right? But he's right. Like, if you can manipulate space, then you can kind of manipulate time as well. But I don't even like to go down that rabbit hole, because then my brain just starts unraveling. You know, I'm like, Back to the Future, Terminator movies, where it's like, he sends his father back in time to hook up with his mom so he could be born.
I'm looking for Sarah Connor. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like, well, how did that start? You start thinking about it, you're like, oh, duh, your brain starts melting down. And so, I mean, who's to say our government hasn't been messing with time? And you look at like events and how things play out, and it's like, like maybe JFK was. There was a show that came out, and it's called the Umbrella Academy, and basically there's like this organization that manages time, and they like manage the timelines, and they kill JFK because, whether you think JFK's like, everyone loves JFK, but his actions could have caused X, Y, and Z, right? So they remove him to save the timeline. So who's to say how long the government's had this stuff? And on that note, if the government's had all this stuff for so long and they've been abusing the technologies, like I heard a governor or something got abducted and they told him not to do X, Y, and Z, and then he changed his stance on stuff. That could have literally been the government staging an abduction, right? Like if they have these technologies, they've had this grasp. They've been like gods in comparison to the public for so long. They would have had to do like criminal activity, things that we would not be happy with. So it also kind of doubles down for the narrative that they're slowly leaking it out. Oh, what are those things in the sky? Oh, let's figure it out. It's like, yeah, okay. Like, you abducted me last week and you were like, made me get naked and do jumping jacks,
Ash, you're in rare form tonight. You're killing me. No, but you're right though. So again, Robert from Washington just called. He actually said he's got access to that Tesla tech. He's going to be on the show in the future here, and he says that this stuff is very real, and he can actually describe how this stuff works. So that's an expert there. We need to get him on the show and talk about this. But yeah, holy smokes, right? Like he's actually 100%. Said the last time he called, he said that he knows how this stuff works and he can demonstrate. Amazing. But you're right. I think you're right with all of this. It's how much of this again are they using against us? And I think that's part of the problem. Is that they're using technology we don't know about to kind of keep us down, right? Keep the plebs down, keep the unwashed masses down.
Right. That's like the Star Wars program where we're supposed to basically put satellites in space that can beam down on the Earth. And they just stopped talking about it. They freaking did that, guys. They have that technology. Like, I've seen so many videos, YouTube videos, and signs of weird stuff where fires happened and cars melted down. It's like, how did a fire melt the whole dang car down to the root? Like, what the hell? It's like, yeah, of course they built that stuff. They have lasers. That's not anything crazy. All they got to do is strap it to a freaking satellite, and then just solar power that bitch over a month, and there you go. Bam, you got a shot. And yeah, I mean, I think that what's that Independence Day line? What do you think we spend $56,000 on a toilet?
$30,000 on a hammer.
Yeah. That's man. That scene is so like, it's eye opening, and and then the last point. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant. Is he brought up the aliens and how we're being managed, and yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't want your anthill to freaking, you wouldn't want them to know you're there. That's like number one. Number two, if they did, they shouldn't be able to do anything about it. So I agree with him that we're being managed. I think that's 100% true. And we're probably being interfered and managed by multiple different factions competing with each other. And that's why you see chaos. And I suspect that the last elections, on whether side you're on, okay, I'm not going there. But you're not going there, guys. Everyone calm down, okay, as Mike would say.
Everybody settle down. Everybody calm down. Oh, sorry, go ahead. I had to do it.
But yeah, you saw all this like chaos and conflict, and it just seemed like there were different factions competing to control supposedly control the greatest military the world's ever seen. And then so if you imagine that there's like aliens above, they're like influencing humanity through proxy, so you can and then you see all this chaos. It just kind of makes sense, like, okay. And then if people are like freaking time traveling, if all these technologies exist, then you could see in the future at this speech or at this thing to do X, to introduce this. It's crazy. It's like what level, at what levels is this freaking Game of Thrones going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you go back and you shoot one person and you change everything. You know what I'm saying? So, just nuts.
So they say.
Yeah.
It's the grandfather paradox. So I don't know. What's up, Kelly says, Mike, did you check out the video on the Hutchison effect? I did not yet. So if you want to do that, Kelly, here's the thing. Let's schedule it, and we'll talk about that particular thing one of these days, and we'll get you on and we'll talk about it. Or if you want to just jump on and call, and we can watch a little bit of it. Is it short? Clearly, we can't watch like a 30-minute video. So let me know if you got a timestamp. We can put it on and talk about it. But yeah, that's what's up. Just to let you know. I promise I'm not blowing you off. Just juggling a lot of things at the same time here. Okay, so I don't know, man. So this seems to be real, right? I think almost no matter who you ask and no matter how you frame it, people with an open mind seem to believe that this stuff is real. This actual thing is a real thing. And let's see. Actually, hold on. Let's get this. Oh, is this the guy? Retired general. All right, I got this.
Found it.
Set this up.
I found it, Mike.
I'm going to put it up on the stream. You set this up, and we're going to put it up. What's up with this?
This is a long video. I'm gonna consume this. I think I'm gonna do an episode on just this. The recently retired USAF. What's USAF?
United States
sorry,
Air
I'm
Force.
stupid if I
United
sound
States Air
stupid.
Force.
Yeah, I do sound stupid. Okay. And the United States Air Force general makes eyebrow-raising claims about advanced space technology. So this is in December 11th, 2019. Space Force is a more recent thing, and he argues for Space Force. And so I was like skimming through the YouTube video real quick to find some interesting stuff. And I looked in the comments. He talks about New World Order, a variety of different things. So I mean, this is like he basically is like, okay, I'm done being in the military where I know about all this crazy shit. So now I'm gonna like try to do some work out in the public, right? He's at Hidstall College giving a lecture. So here's freaking guys. This is where you need to pay attention to, because these are the guys who know stuff. I don't know if he knows the whole picture, but he's basically executing the plan, right? He's a freak. Look at his haircut. Look at that haircut. Okay, this guy is clearly one of those guys. Like you watch you ever watch a movie where there's like a Disney movie or something, and there's like the tree people, and they're all happy, and then like the military comes through with like machines and they start destroying stuff. There's like this general, and he's always like the bad guy. He's got the same freaking haircut, guys. He's got the same haircut as that guy. The crop top on the top, shortened on the sides.
High and tight, man. That's the only way for me to have no gray hair anymore. Is just to go super high and tight like that, and then I have no gray hair. but yeah, all right. This is good stuff. Yeah, I remember this. I remember when we talked about this guy and some of the things he was saying. Exactly, it's unbelievable that you get. I don't know. Do you have like this strain of crazy people that just pop out and are like, spurging some weird stuff, and maybe corroborating some things, or wink, wink, disinformation style some things to kind of keep a narrative going here? I don't know, man. I'm not so sure. I think looking at all of these things, when you look at the UFOs, it's like you can't just say everybody that sees a UFO is insane. You just can't do it. Like, it's impossible. Like, they have people all across the spectrum of respectability, whatever that means, but viewing and seeing these things on a daily damn basis. Dude, I'm putting up UFO videos on the damn thing. I got access to a database. Wink, wink. I'm not going to tell you how, but I've got access to the database, and I'm putting up like brand new UFO videos people have never seen. I'll hook you up, Ash.
Nice.
But look, it's happening every day, and people are taking videos of these. GameVet02, what's up? He's a truck driver out there. He's got a camera running all the time in his big rig, and he catches UFOs. He's got some on his YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel, guys. Scroll down to the bottom. GameVet02, he's there. He's there with Ash and everybody else, with Penny and everybody else. And you could check out his actual footage he's got of real UFOs. This is happening. People are seeing these things all over the damn world. And so the question is, are they ours or are they theirs? Right?
Sorry,
That was perfect. We're gonna need to work on your auto tune, but otherwise, bro, that was spot on. That was spot on.
Yeah, I'm getting good at my timing, but not my singing.
Yeah, that's all right. Nobody's perfect.
That's funny.
All right, so we got a video.
No, but it's
Kelly here. Go ahead. Actually, can you?
I was just gonna.
You carry on for 30 seconds. I gotta take a leak. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, okay. So this guy goes on this video. This is released in December 5th, 2019. So whatever he's talking about old stuff. You know what I mean? Like old technology. So if the here, I'll quote him right now. I'm gonna watch the video for you guys. I linked it in Facebook. I think Mike linked it as well. It's a whole article. It's got the long. It's an hour and 6 minutes. So it's pretty interesting. He talks about, he mentions New World Order, then he pauses. Every time someone says New World Order, they like pause. But here, I'll quote him now. If the development of space to do these things that I just described to you transform the transportation economy, to be able to deliver anybody on planet Earth to anywhere in less than an hour, transform the energy market, where everybody can trickle charge their battery's capacitor from anywhere on planet Earth at any time, and to basically get information anywhere on planet Earth. So he's talking about technologies where power and data are accessible to everyone on the planet. So, I mean, in those terms, I guess it would be a new world order, right? It would be a new world. I mean, that's some pretty incredible technology. Imagine being able to get anywhere in an hour. I mean, is he talking about an hour is like vague. It's super vague. Does it take is it a half hour to like get on the plane and get off and it takes 2 minutes to get there? Or is it like take an hour to get there? That would kind of hint at the technology. But this is a hint that they have access to technology that is much superior to what we have in those three verticals alone. And so, I mean, this is just what they're willing to disclose to the public. So I would say for every 3, there's probably 30 more, right? For every 1, there's 10 things that they aren't exposing or making available to the public. And you can take any of these ideas and weaponize them to a ridiculous extent, right? You could do some pretty interesting. I mean, I can dream up some pretty interesting like weapons, which is scary by itself. So I can only imagine what these guys are inventing. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Oh, Mike's back.
I've been here. I've been just listening to you. I'm just enjoying it. I'm sitting back going, wow, Troubled Minds is amazing. Go, Ash, go. No, you're right, though. You're right, though. So what the hell are they making that they're not telling us? And weapon-wise, exactly. Like, if you can weaponize it, they have weaponized it, right? Like, that's the thing. That's the terrifying part is what's happening. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, what do you guys think? Looking to hear from you, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Look at that, Ash. Look at that. Like you've been like an old pro, like you've been doing this for years or something.
Oh, stop it.
Stop.
I was like going on. I was like, oh, I should read from the comments and I should solicit callers. And I'm like, I'm getting a little bit of it. If you do it long enough, you get it eventually. So, but I'm just trying to be entertaining and not rant and bore you guys. I hope you guys are interested in this stuff. I'm interested in this stuff. This stuff gets me excited. But with that, I do have to go. Thank you for having me on. I always appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a really awesome night. And I'll see you in the future in the flying car doing flip flap off the flip floop.
We'll see you there next Wednesday, right? We'll see you on Wednesday again on the show, right?
Yep, I'll be here every Wednesday.
I appreciate it, my brother. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us. You were the best. Say hello to the family, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Penny's in the color queue, by the way.
Yep.
And shout outs to Penny. Thank you so much for everything you've done. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Bye, y'all.
There you go. What's up, Penny? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. How you doing? Oh, nope. Penny said, nope, not doing it. All right, I'm going to try this one more time. Maybe Penny's not ready. Is Penny ready?
Hello?
Penny is ready. How you doing? Good evening.
Hello. Are you okay?
I'm doing great. I'm fantastic. I hope you were well. How's Jack?
Not too bad, thank you. He's better than he was, thank you. He's had some sort of like measles type virus. Not measles, but similar. So he's been quite poorly. But he's been making snow angels today in the snows.
Nice. Better is better. We'll take that. We will definitely take that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
so
how are you guys?
Doing
you
good.
Okay?
Doing good. Yeah, fantastic. I can't complain. I'm blessed. When you don't have a lot to complain about and you have to make it up, I consider that blessed. So I just can't complain.
That's good. Super busy though, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's okay. Busy is busy, but it's a passion project. I think these are things that need to get done. As you know, if we're not talking about them, who is? So I know you followed the conversation tonight. So what do you think about all this advanced propulsion technology? Do you think they are hiding it from us, and do you think there's something else going on, or what's the deal here?
Yeah, I think they are. I think that a lot of these aliens that we see are just us from the future. I also believe that they can go backwards and forwards as they wish, so they know what's going to happen. And I think they are actually changing the future all the time, which is why everything's gone tits up at the moment.
Yeah, it seems like it has, right? Like the last several years have been insane. Just some weird stuff. And I wonder, right? Like I think you can be fooled that it's a concoction of the media, but there's a lot more than that. I think that's just I don't know. Interesting times indeed. Like that, you can pull something out amazing every day. Just about to talk. I mean, look, we did a talk show, and just talking about all the crazy stuff that's happening. It's unbelievable.
It's even the normies are like thinking, maybe these people weren't as crazy all along. These tinfoil hat wearing people. I get that a lot, a lot of people say to me, you should listen to you years ago. But yeah, I do think that, I know a lot of people have said this, but, Donald Trump's uncle was working with Tesla and he took everything from him. Then he died. And I think that he got bumped off. And I believe that Donald Trump, his uncle built a time machine. And do you remember that book that, was it The Adventures of Baron Trump or something, like 100 years ago?
Yes, I sure do. We did a whole show on that. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah,
it's all just there's too many coincidences, isn't there? For this to just, I don't believe in coincidences anyway. Like, there's some of the coincidences you can't ignore. You're going to get the odd little one, but as a rule, I tend not to believe in them. So, you know, what's the chances of all that? So, yeah, I do think that, and I also believe, I know it's something to do with what you're saying at the show, but I do believe that we have clones as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. So, so replicants, like go back to, what was that with Harrison Ford back in the 80s, right? What was that? Blade Runner, right? With replicants.
Blade Runner, yeah.
Yeah, like that sort of thing. So you think that technology is real and happening? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
1,000,000%.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so meaning this though, is there a way for us to tell the difference at this point? Do you think it exists?
I can tell.
Okay, how?
Yeah.
Are there tips you can help us with? I'm asking.
Well, they've got no soul.
I can't tell.
You can.
I see. I see.
So you can look into the, you know, their eyes look dead. Like, for example, like Mr. Creepy Sleepy, yeah, Mr. Joe. I don't want to say his name. I don't say that, and who knows what you can say anymore on YouTube. It doesn't look right. He just look. It doesn't look the same as the one that was there before, and he doesn't even look like he's alive. You know, 1 minute he doesn't know what day it is, and the next minute he's giving this fantastic speech. There's no way that's the same one. And then you've got like Elon Musk and Zuckerberg. They all look like some sort of like, they don't look human, do they? They've got like no soul in there. The eyes are like dead.
Yeah,
and I don't think they're human.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, there's definitely with Zuckerberg, there's a something weird about him, right? Like some
you can't help it, can you? Yeah.
No, yeah. I think pretty much anybody will just watch him and his mannerisms and the way he blinks and the way he speaks and the way he holds his head, and it seems very unhuman. And you know, I don't know about replicants. I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet. But again, I don't know the truth about all these things, so I'm not the arbiter of that truth. It's not up to me. This is a conversation. So I don't know. But I think definitely if you were going to point to somebody and say, well, here's an example of a replicant, and if you pointed to Mark Zuckerberg, I don't think many people would be like, nah, you're wrong. Just because
if you look at him as a kid, like when he was younger, yeah, he looked bizarre, but he looks different, like they've changed him. And I don't know whether you've watched much videos on this channel that I'm on now, but I did one on Prince Charles a while back, and they did an interview on Sky News with him, and it wasn't the same person. I don't believe they're using double like lookalikes. I think they're using actual clones. I think that a lot of the elites have got 2 or 3 versions. I've done a bit of research on it for the last couple of years, and there's a lot out there saying that they've all got a couple at least, because they were cloning sheep like 35 years ago. And they're always about 30 years ahead. So that means they were actually cloning sheep around 60 odd years ago. So what are they doing now? You can, you know, and people go, oh, they'd have to grow it in a test tube, but they could probably rapid grow stuff as needed. I think a lot of the false flags, the people that die, they're using these replicants as well. And I think that when they, you know, with the time travel thing, I think when they go forward, they can see what's going to happen. So they get one ready, a clone ready to be killed because they know it's going to happen. Because they can't really change it, can they, to a certain degree? But they can put a fake one in place, like Kennedy, for example. They could have put one there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I did hear you say a while back when you called in to this show, you were talking about how when Boris got COVID, that you thought he came back as a sort of replicant, like he had changed.
Yeah.
So not just changed.
1,000,000%.
Yeah, right. So I don't pay close enough attention to clearly the United Kingdom politics because, well, there's stuff in our politics down our throat all the time over here. So whatever extra time I get, I do watch the BBC, but that's trash, as you know. That's trash.
Yeah, that's just horrendous.
But
it's worse than China. China's propaganda.
Is it that bad?
It really is. It really is. All the media here we're all like, they're all different versions of CNN. There's just no even centre, let alone right. And whether you're left or right, you just constant lefty liberal stuff down your throat here. You know, proper PC. You can't say anything. It's so bad. It's unreal. Like Fox News has been banned in the UK for years now. It's actually banned.
Banned, right? Because it's racist and all kinds of other things, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything's racist. Yes.
Yeah. All the deal, right? Like if you're like, well, no, I think we should actually That I think you should present an ID at the voting box. You're a racist. It's like, wait, what?
Exactly.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Not to go political, but it just makes no damn sense. It makes no damn sense.
No, it doesn't. The politics now is proper 1984. The whole world is just full on. And, you know, we were saying this was coming, but even we didn't think it was coming yet. We thought it would be another like 10, 20 years, didn't we? And it's just appeared.
Yeah, and you were right, actually, by the way. I didn't read the comment when we were talking about censorship earlier, but you were completely right. I said at the beginning of this year, I'd be surprised if we have 6 months left on this channel. And you're right.
You did, yeah.
And look, they're labeling us on a show I didn't even mention, Aranon, that movement. They're labeling it as a fact check of like, I didn't say anything close to that.
They did it to another channel. They did it to a massive channel called The Scariest Movie Ever, and it's got like nearly 500,000 subs. He's been demonetized as well, but he does like these live streams. His name's KJ. He does like a few hours, and he covers like everything, like in the news, you know, weird stuff, you know, everything from UFOs to people seeing angels and stuff. And he is like us. He doesn't follow this movement of the, you know, he calls it PAnon, I think it is.
That's exactly.
But yeah,
you have to change dude. It's crazy. It's so crazy. You have to speak in code now. You have to speak in code.
Yeah, you do.
Or you get taken down from the damn internet. You get fact checked for saying a particular letter.
Yeah.
Like I said, it is the scarlet letter. It's become like, and again, if anybody that's listened to me for any length of time, you know, I don't subscribe to that movement.
No,
most times I tongue in cheek talk about it. Yeah. It almost doesn't matter, because even if you talk about it to criticize it, you bringing it up makes you part of that movement, and they use it against you.
And he didn't mention it either. He was just saying last night, when you said that, I was like, wow, he was saying exactly the same thing. Have I lost you? I'm just checking. My phone's just...
I'm with you.
Good. Okay, my phone just... my screen went off. And...
No, you're coming through loud and clear more than you ever have.
Oh, fab.
You are...
I've got a new phone.
Well, there you go. That'll do it. There
you go. New S21 Ultra. Good phone. Sorry, my screen timed out, you see, and I was sort of shit. Sorry, I can swear now. Is it the swear hour?
Yeah, you're good. We're after hours. You're totally
good. Cool. I don't really swear that much on one, but you never know. Yeah, so... Yeah, you never know. Like just then, he got the banner thing, what you got, and he didn't mention it either. He doesn't have callers or anything like that, and he's got the banner. And he was like, "Why the hell have I got the banner?" He doesn't even use the proper term. So they are literally, even if someone in chat, I think they're watching chat now. So if you type a certain word in chat, that's picking it up. So I will delete stuff in chat. If I'm a moderator or on my own channel, if they use the proper word, I keep telling people. So, you know, I write the letter V and then the word scene, SCENE, you know, to write the, you know, the thing that goes in your arm.
Right. Right.
And I always use code, you know, and people need to be aware in chat what they're doing. Because, it's bizarre. The thing is, if someone types something in chat, in the chat box, the algorithms will then go, "Oh, what's this?" And then they'll sort of come over and see what you're talking about. And I think that's what's happening.
I agree. I think you're right. I think you're right. So I didn't used to actually believe that, but now who knows? Because I can't monitor all the chat all the time. But if people are typing things that actually, you know, maybe even aren't exactly this particular scarlet letter movement, so to speak, but they're saying things that maybe are in line with that ideology, they assign it to me and this show and the things that we say. Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's, people have got to be careful. Like, I do keep telling people as well, you know, when I'm in certain chats and stuff on my own channel, I will delete stuff if I have to. And I'm not being horrible. I'm just saying, you know, word it the right way. You know, we have to use code. And until they find out what the code is, and then we have to change the code. Yeah. You know, we've got to do this. We're in their house. We're going under the radar in their house. We're in the basement in their house.
Yeah, exactly.
And they will keep finding us, and we have to just keep on outsmarting them.
Exactly. I agree. Hey, so Penny, so are we doing Saturday on your channel?
Yes. Yeah, okay. I was going to say doing Saturday. I don't know what about there, but I want Ash as well to come over.
I'll try. I'll do my best. He's actually got a new thing he's doing busy. He's been very busy.
Is he busy bee?
But I will try and get him. I'll try and get him. What time? Can you give me a time and I'll try and get him?
11 UK time. What
Okay,
what
I think
are
that's
you?
3.
So
I think that's
it's
three.
midnight is 3. So is that too early for you?
No. That's never. Are you kidding me? No. No. It's
Okay, you sure?
Yeah, it's okay. So let me know what we're talking about. I'll bring some material and we'll talk some good stuff.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, could you multi-stream as well to your stuff?
Okay, sweet. I'll try and get that working also.
I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah, but don't do your YouTube channel because then I won't be able to moderate it for you because I'll be on my own.
That's okay. I'm not scared. You do a fine job, and I thank you for it. But we'll just go without you. It's fine.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Bailey will be there, won't she?
Yeah. We'll be there. We'll be okay. If I have to take a time out and kick people out of chat, I'll do that. All right. So we got a call behind you, and then we're going to get to Kelly to end the show. Final thoughts while we got you on the line tonight.
Okay. What about anything?
Anything.
10 years, we'll all be speaking Chinese.
I laugh, and it's not funny, and you may be right.
No, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Oh, exactly. All right.
Anyway,
Penny, you're
thanks
the
for
best.
having me. Take care.
No. Thank you so
Cheers.
much for all the things you do for us. And
number one fan in the UK.
Yeah, number one fan in the UK. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Penny. Have a good night.
All right. See you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
And you. Bye.
Thank you. All right, there we go. We're going to go to these phone calls real quick. We got a couple more, and let's finish this up. You are on Troubled Minds with Mike. You are Jay from New York. How are you, my man? You got Kelly right behind you, so you got 2 minutes, and we're going to finish the show up.
No, that's cool. I missed the whole show tonight. I got like bombshells, family stuff dropped on me tonight.
That's okay. It happens, man. It happens, brother. I hope everybody's fine.
I don't think so, but whatever,
It is the life we live. It is the life we
I
live.
really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. That's
You
nice.
need a post office box, man.
I got one. I'll get you one.
You got a post office box?
Yeah, I'll get you one. I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I don't have it right here with me. I'll write it down so I have one. I really have one. I just don't know
I'll
it.
pay for it.
No, I've got one.
I'll pay for it.
I've got one, bro. Hold on. I'm gonna write it down. I'll remind myself later, and I'll get it to you next time. Okay. I'll also put it on Discord. But okay, we got Kelly right behind you to finish the show up. So, what's on your mind, real quick, and let's keep on trucking. Only because we're at the end. This has been a long 3 hours, my man.
I just want everybody to look after each other. I really do, because that's really important right now. That's really all I got to say about it, Mike. I just want us to look after each other. You're spreading great information. We're talking about things that nobody talks about, and it's real. It's documented. You're putting it out there. I'm not making this crap up. Here's where I got my information from.
Is that right? There's some value in that, is there not? There's some value in that. Yeah. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being enthusiastic. Thank you for calling. All of that good stuff, my man. You were the best. You were a friend. I owe you a beer one day, okay?
I would love it. I really would.
Okay.
I would love it.
Okay.
It would be so fun to just sit down and have beer and talk about baseball or something.
Amen, brother. I'm an A's fan. Let's do it. Jay from New York, thank you so much for listening. I know you'll catch the rest of the show on an archive. You always do. We'll talk to you soon, okay? God bless you and the family. Stay safe out there, okay?
Good night, Mike.
Thank you, my man. Talk to you soon. All right, let's go to Kelly. There you go. Look, this is what happens when you build a community, right? You get amazing person after amazing person after amazing person after amazing person. Kelly, you're on Troubled Minds. How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. You guys blessed me with your attention and your phone calls, and I am over the moon right now. Thank you for calling back. You got this video you want to share. Man. You got this video you want to share.
Yeah, if you just throw that on,
this is the guy. His name is John Hutchinson, and he was. The story is that he I guess he used to buy ex-military equipment, and a lot of ex-military equipment that he was using is like through radar, sonar, stuff like that. But they also use like crystal technology that's inside. So what I'm thinking, it doesn't tell you exactly how he's doing it. He's not going to tell, he's not, with people in the interview, he's not going to tell them how he's doing it. But, he's going to tell them, he tells them how much wattage he uses. And the effects of what the video shows is just incredible. Because at first he didn't even know that it could create a anti-gravity effect. He kind of was doing a video with another, like, newscasting, and someone noticed that there was I think it was a mop or a broom that levitated in the back and like actually just went straight up in the air. And they're like, "Did you see that?" So they stopped, and then they rewind it, from the thing that they've seen, and sure enough. So the effect that he's having is actually, it's almost like taking the molecules all the way down, from like a solid piece of metal. Let's say they have a big bar, like a big round stock of metal. I don't know what kind of tensile strength it is, but you should see it. I mean, it just totally just rips it, tears it apart from the very fiber of the material that it is. That's the type of thing it could, it's like, so it's almost like a weapon, but it's almost like taking the very fine, the very fabric of anything that's made and just ripping it into pieces. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the story is like the other video that how I ran across it was called The Day the Towers Fell. And that's what I'm saying earlier. It was about this lady. She does the investigation. She's the best in the world of what she was doing. And what they're finding out, she was saying, people thought that it was like detonation, the way some of the stuff that fell. But some of the other stuff that they're finding was like the metal was bent, like totally ripped apart, shredded in pieces. Just exactly with the same thing that this guy's, John Hutchinson, his effect that he was doing. And he, the government was interested into him, and he started, and, there was a story that he was, working with them, showing them what it was, but they actually couldn't like control it at first. But years later on, they think that maybe that's what, it could be like a direct energy weapon or some type of energy or a weapon, that it's unseen. You can't really see what's going on, but you can, the effects that it has, it's just incredible. It can like melt two different types of metals together. Again, if you just watch the video, just even for like first 30 to 35 seconds,
okay,
maybe 40.
Okay, let me play
it. See all the effects that is.
Okay, I'm going to play it. Let me do just a quick test. I want to make sure you can hear the video because I don't know, because our audio is a little screwy. So I want to play just like a second or two and then ask you if you heard it, because I want to make sure you can hear this or not, so you can actually narrate if possible. But here we go. Just going to play like 2 seconds of this and then go right back to you.
Objects and a million pieces just fly up.
Can you hear that?
Yep. Sure
Okay.
Can.
Okay, sweet. So I'm going to start at 15 seconds, like you said, and then you can know what's going on here. So I'm going to play about 30, 40 seconds of this, and you can tell us what we're looking at, okay? Here we go. This is Kelly from Colorado on the line, old friend of the show. As far as my memory goes back, this dude right here was the first guy who called into this show. I'm pretty sure it was the Phil Schneider show, and he was like, hey, I believe this. I think this is real. And there's merit to some of these things you guys are talking about. And again, thank you, Kelly, for having faith in us. Thank you for calling in and contributing. Thank you for being co-host of the show several times. Like I said, I'm more than blessed, and people like you make the world go round. Thank you so much. Let's play this.
Oh man, thanks a lot, man. No problem. I'm always into all the stuff that you guys talked about, and it's just, it's incredible to see that a community that come together, many people from all walks of life, got the same mindset, is on the same level, you know what I mean? So it's just helping everybody spread information.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. All right, let's play this. Going to play this for about 30, 45 seconds, and then whenever you're ready, just go ahead and cut in, and I'll stop it.
In fact, using only 75 watts of energy, enough for a small light bulb, Hutchison made a 60-pound cannonball rise off the table. It would also fuse dissimilar materials, heat metal but not burn the wood it sat on, shatter metal as well as change its crystalline structure. This was something to write home about.
Beginning of 1980, experimenting with all the electromagnetics and electrostatic equipments I had at the time, I started to notice some very, very unusual effects, such as a room being filled up very quickly with multicolored lights, steel bars sitting on wood and not causing any fires, metal turning to jelly, things levitating and jumping off to the ceiling, or simply go up, hover, and then fall back down.
Okay, I think that probably gets us where we need to be, eh?
Yep, that's about it.
So he's able to make these things levitate. Do you know what the actual technology is behind this? What's going on? I have no idea.
No, again, if people watch the video, you can just go onto YouTube too. There's like about 5 other videos of him, and it goes into detail. You know what I mean? Kind of into the effects that it has. That's what I'm saying. At first, like that video is how old it is. He like you say, he's saying that at first he didn't even know what kind of effects it was having. He was just messing around because he's into the electromagnetic, energies that are, that's what he was messing with. So he's got a ton of, if you look at the room that he's in, it looks like it's old Air Force, like radar systems and shit like that. But those type of stuff, they're like, even back then, even like when I was in the military, some of those boxes, we call them ATs, these guys that work, with the electronics and stuff like that. Those things are all top secret, just even being in the aircraft, they have to put them in and put them out themselves. They can't be like my type of job. I couldn't just go in there and grab it and put it in. And it's like, that's a major no-no. So what these things are operating on, that you can't even, those guys, when they tear those boxes open, they got to be in their own room, working with themselves or someone that's, with them. They can't, you can't really even see inside these boxes. So what they're running off of even now, the radar systems, it could be like top secret of how the mechanisms work, or like, some of the, the motherboards or whatnot, but still, you got to understand some of these stuff that they were doing back then, that some of that older stuff, like I said, he was using crystalline. So is, these things that I say he's like harmonicking vibrations, like that guy was saying earlier, that he's really into all that science and stuff, but, it's got more knowledge that, you can base that stuff on vibration or a frequency. That's just like Tesla was saying. You take those 3, energy, vibration, and frequency, and you can master that. You master anything in the universe, really, because the harmonics of something, you can even, lift something up. You can do that by sound. They've already showed stuff like that. But it's more or less sciences. With sound, they were like levitating smaller stuff, lighter stuff, but still they could do it. They could spin it and turn it into a different direction, moving. But what he was doing, the stuff that this guy was doing, if you watch the whole video, you could people do it on their own time. But what it's doing is the exact same thing was happening with, when the towers. So the video is called When the Towers Fell, again, with that scientist. And she was saying it's the exact same things, metals that were fused together. For example, at the Twin Towers, all the cars that was parked in front of the building, that was on along the streets, they were like all levitated and thrown like 200 feet in all these directions, So they were parked in front, and it was like they were all flung. This is some of the stuff that wasn't even talked about, in the investigations on it until, later on when this lady started bringing all this stuff up. And, if you look at some of the videos that she has, you could see that whole building was made of glass and metal, right? You could see parts of it, slow motion, even if in some of those videos you go back and it's totally like metal turned to dust. Glass, that whole building was made of glass. Everything's turned into dust. That's the stuff that the people were breathing. Now, if this thing can do that and also be have the ability to levitate stuff through harmonics and maybe, vibration,
of course, that could be a type of stuff that, just like Ash was talking about when he, the whole swirl thing, when you with the liquid metal, that was talked about in, like I was saying, in ancient Sanskrit in India when they talk about vimanas, that type of stuff, and that was in thousands of years ago. And they had not only that they talked about it, but they had the breakdown of vimana, like a cutaway picture of it, the levels that, who these people had. You could store stuff in here. This is where the mechanism worked out to keep it in anti-gravity. And they used mercury, which is actually pretty incredible, because to even make mercury, it comes in more like a powder form in nature, but when you gotta, do stuff to it chemically wise to, make it into a liquid metal per se. And then if you, spin that in a certain, direction, you're going to get levitation. And that's just some of the guide. I think that one, there was a couple scientists that were, worked with the government, and that's the things that he was doing. He was just in like a vortex, and you spin it so fast, and it creates anti-gravity, I guess.
This stuff I've heard of in different situations with different technologies, and you're just bringing another one to my attention. It's I don't know, right? Like, I guess the fundamental question with all of this is, do you believe, and I'm talking to everybody out there, of course, that there's a secret technology, a breakaway civilization, as Alex Jones has said, as others have said, that there's actually, I don't know, real levitation happening out there? We'll get that Robert guy on the show from Washington State, and he claims to have a direct connection to Tesla, and he thinks that some of this stuff is real. So we'll circle back with him. We'll do a whole show and talk about this. But this is crazy stuff, right? This is crazy stuff, man. Like huge implications for humanity, and not just a conversation, for humanity and the past and the future. It's this is terrifying. If they're hiding technology from us that will actually change the world in a positive light, for all the people in the third world, right? These places in Africa where they don't have anything, they don't have energy at all, they don't have power at all. If you could actually manipulate free energy this way and spread it around and make the world over a better place, why the hell aren't we? It's a terrifying thought, is it not?
Yeah, it is, because the thing that I think about too is, and it's the truth. Like, if you find something that crashes to Earth, most government's going to take that. And that was just like I was explaining. So you would take that, you wouldn't give it to one person. You would try to, separate things. That's where, people say that, some of the technology that came out through there with what is that? I can't think about right now. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is just, if you take some of that technology and you spread it all out, and then you try to find it if they can work, or find out how it works, or if they can remanufacture it. Sometimes they couldn't at the time. They would put it back on the shelf, pull it out maybe 50 years later, see if they can, have the technology now to mess with it. And I would say, right around now, with all the technology that's going out, through mankind, not, our brilliant minds that we created now, and maybe we're catching up finally, and then we can understand some of this technology that they got, or even try to make something comparable, that our mind, or what we can, our physics can, because some of the stuff that they're finding that they don't even know, our physics, in our physics, it's impossible. That thing should not even exist. And if that's the case, and that's what I believe that's the case, because again, look at outer space, we're just a minute little, like you said, like you claimed it with yourself, I'm just a guy on a microphone. We're just a little peon, little planet floating out in the middle of dust. We're like dust, more or less, just flying around out there. So we're not really too important to even, but we're gaining there. We're getting there. And, some of the stuff that their breakaway civilization, I'd say yes, that has, because, again, that's how you found a lot of the information through MJ12 and the military, and that's where it's all through the Navy. But yeah, like that guy that I posted on here too as well. You can see him. He's it's called Deep Space Objects. This guy's capturing stuff that looks. He shows you examples of because you can't get too clear of it, of the stuff he was using, which is a telescope, and his camera. But the stuff he was looking at deep space objects that they thought was maybe a star or something, and he's finding out that these things are spacecraft, and they're huge, they're miles long. They're not only that, but they can like change shape in like a matter of minutes, like instant, like seconds actually, and then go back into a shape. And if they got something that big, it's pretty incredible. Just it's like they say, guy at Skunk Works, whatever you can think of, we can accomplish now. And if that's the case, that has to be something that they either dug up or something crash landed on here, and it could be either both. Because when the Germans sent out the SS groups, they had the ancient things that they were talking about, the for real, and they were sending out. They wanted to find all this anything that was talking ancient writings that talk about flying things or their gods of they come down, and they were the first ones to send people out to look at all that stuff. And that's my belief, that they found something. They might not even know what it was or how to make it, but they sure did make something that looked like it, that could fly like it, obviously. So they had some kind of designs that they had for the war that they found. That stuff can't all be not real. That's all just fake. That's what they want you to believe, but that's how they hide all their technology.
Yeah, no, agreed. And this is part of the larger conversation. We'll continue talking about this. We haven't actually got to the Vril Society yet. We'll get to that. Like there's so many things, right? Like as you continue looking into more of this, more of that, whether it's real or not is it's up to you to decide. I don't care. Like you decide whether this stuff is real. I'm going to go talk about why people believe these things and present it. And that's what we do, man. Kelly, let's finish this up. You're the best, my man. Thank you for calling. Again, you're our first caller. And as of right now, in this moment, you are also our last caller. Synchronicity.
Yeah, man.
Final thought, my man.
But anyway, just real quick.
Go ahead.
Before we end, real quick, I'll just say that, I would say, in my opinion, and all the research, and like you said, some of the stuff we haven't talked, and a lot of the stuff do connect, and they're, it's called going down the rabbit hole, and I've been down many of them, and you gotta, like you said, you gotta make your own decision. There's some things that, like I would say, I wouldn't say so, like ancient astronaut theory. You know what I'm saying? I agree with, probably 90% of the stuff they came out with, but 10%, you can't agree with everything, but they're still going to say, so what do you think? Here's your representation. What do you think? So anyway, just, keep digging, share the information, and you guys take care of yourself out there.
You too, my man. God bless you and the family. Thank you for calling. Thanks for participating. Thanks for being engaged with our troubled minds. You're the best, Kelly. Have a good night, my man.
All right, guys. Take care.
Thanks, you too. There you go. Simple as that, guys. Look, think about it. Frank and I started one wayward night in April years ago. I could say years now. Plural years. With nobody listening. OG Todd showed up on the first night or the second night or something. And Richie actually showed up. And I don't know where Richie went. He never really came back. But look, that's how it started. Just a couple guys, knuckleheads with microphones on the internet, speaking out into that digital darkness. And here we are. Coming up 3 years later in April, first week of April, we'll be 3 years doing this show. And look at how this community has grown. Look at how many amazing, smart, intuitive people we've met. Matter of fact, Ash, I first met the man when he called into this show. Or should I say, I first met the Martian. But you get it, right? As it grows, more and more of us share our troubled minds. And while it may be true that we don't have the answers, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't think the answers even matter. I think the questions are the most important thing. And so, as we finish up tonight, this is Troubled Minds. I'm a radio guy. Actually, on a digital radio station now. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to me. Thanks to all of us getting together and talking about amazing things. That's right, we started on YouTube. We started on Facebook. Started as rookies. And now we're pros. The bad news is we're done for tonight. The good news is, God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. That was my grandmother's term, by the way. God willing, see you mañana, she would say. And so, as I say in the other outro, be sure, be strong, be true. We'll be back 3 p.m. Pacific doing the news show on Twitch. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific, doing more Fringe FM. Hopefully I'll fix the audio. And we'll be back on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks, guys. You're all the best. Like I said, like I always say, I know you could be doing a million other things right now, but you're spending your time with us. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Have a great night. God bless. Be safe. Take care of yourself so you can take care of each other. From our troubled minds to yours. Thank you for listening and have a great night.